QNDHI.
Hello, Twitch, YouTube. I'm here. Like Porsuk, thank you so much for subscription and for 5 sub gift, and also Valorant just gave 3 sub gift. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, guys. And only that can hear. True, true. Let me just check who is on Twitch, and we will just start directly today. Komikri, welcome. Alaikum salam. Just Runaway, Depreco, Porsuk, Valorant here, Sedmith here. Let me just like, yes, yes. You guys can hear me, isn't it? There's no problem. On YouTube, we have Mehmet and Kim Long. Yeah, 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 yeah. You guys can hear me, isn't it? Just test, test. Hello, Twitch, YouTube. Say something so we can start a podcast. Okay, Twitch can hear me. What about YouTube? YouTube can just answer me a little bit later because YouTube is 4K right now. 4K streams requires low latency. Guys, drink Turkish tea. It's good. Let's control YouTube. Yes, YouTube also hear me. Rafael is here. So we can just start slowly. I'll just turn the... Okay, like I'll share your sound right now to the stream. Stop talking shit about other people.
Tappers, we
now
hate
they hear you.
RNG carry people.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, I'll just start right now, okay? That's just like intro. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Twitch. Welcome, everyone. This will be a special podcast for you again, and every 2 weeks, sometimes every week, we are just, creating this podcast for you on Sunday. I'm happy for being here. We have nice guests, and they are ready to talk with you. They are ready to talk for you while you're just grinding, while you're doing your job. We are ready to hear for yapping. Let's go and check who do we have for today. We have Hazy Mists, amazing Ranger player.
Hello.
We have Archive. We have Computer. We have IDEX. We have as manager Higa, and you guys have me, the shit Quendia. I mean, most of the time they will talk. Sometimes I just share what I'm thinking, and I'm ready. It's just like control is on Higa right now.
Okay, so as the usual, let's introduce who we are. IDEX, take it away. Who are you?
I'm IDEX, the Avatar Dosa, the one and only. I just mainly play Dosa Awakening, particularly. I mainly stream on Twitch. I stream PvE and PvP content, both. Not so much life skilling content. I also make guides on YouTube. That's it.
Okay. Computer, your turn. Who are you?
Hey, I'm Computer. Was the GM of Tennessee for a good while. Most people in you know me for shot calling, and yep, that's about it.
Okay.
And that's it, actually.
Yeah. Casey, who are you?
Hello. I terrorize people on rooftop. I'm the Sock Ranger. There you go.
Lazy bastard.
No, man.
Yeah, in AOS, in the RBF, you'll see me. Yeah, have fun.
Okay. Archive, your turn.
I'm Archive, BDO content creator and veteran Awakening Sage player. I've been writing Sage guides, making Sage videos, especially try-hard grind videos for the few people that are actually interested. And I've been playing the game for years and trying to always push it to the next level in both PvE and PvP.
Okay. So today's episode is gonna be like the previous episode was more into the PvP and how it was, but now we're gonna head into the PvE because we got a whole new region released. Not that like probably 1 month ago, quite actually exactly 1 month ago. And there's been some new content given to us, new grind spots. Overall, like before we get our hands into the topics, how are we enjoying the end time grinding arc of our lives? How are we feeling about it?
I'm done with it. I'm selling everything.
Oh my god, you're done within a month. I think Quentia is also done.
I'm not done.
Grind arc.
I can show what I have right now directly right on the screen. I have I have all AP crystals done. That's all. Okay. I have my DR crystals done.
Okay.
DR lightstones, sorry, not DR crystals.
Lightstones. So, okay.
Like lightstones are done, and my Vicious Shadow lightstones are done, and my 2 Kabas done for Herald Crystal and 2 Dekia artifact is done.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, what do I have as is like in my storages? I have 250 end times and 120 Herald Crystal. That's not that much high. Like, you guys think that I'm grinding nonstop? No, like I was just, laying for like 2 days. After like Friday, I just turned off PC. Every day I
Mhm.
just log into game, set my character in here, stay AFK fishing. At
Mhm.
night I just off and nothing. I'm not just making the current state of the PV is just, endless torture to myself. I never played
Yep.
game like that. Because in BDO, they're like, you can grind 724, and it's not a good way to, play this game, at least from my perspective.
Mm.
As a content creator, I have my other responsibilities. I was just working for other contents, but the problem is just like people think I have to do that. It has to be done. But
Mm.
what you're gonna do that? Let's say that you're full deck, and what you're gonna do when you're done with all these things?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
Just
Like there's nothing.
dryness.
So
A desert.
yeah, just take it easy. Just a few hours grinding every day. If you have do quest, if you have do some other things. I've seen lots of people just push themselves for like in 2-3 weeks they just
Mhm.
completed everything. Now they have nothing to do. They're just saying that I don't want to grind in Adania, and what are you gonna grind? They're just going to Orzekia maybe. That's
Mhm.
all.
DSR. We will
Maybe
talk about
DSR
it.
Tungrad for just
DSR.
fail stacks.
Mhm.
I like the current state of
But
PvE. We will just talk about that later. But
yeah.
that's what I'm doing in these days. Just chill, taking it
Mhm.
easy. On stream, few hours grind in week time. That's all.
I think we can all agree that this game is more like a marathon rather than a sprint. And I think everyone should try to accomplish that kind of mentality just to keep our mental strength up and not like burn out or anything. Because this grind in the new area, the new region, it's definitely going to take a while for a lot of players. And yeah, I think we gather a lot of actual opinions within like the player range. We got Hazy that maybe he told me he just started to introduce himself to Edania. We have some veterans that are like on Frogs, Thefria Spot, Tenebrum sort of range. Computer, where are you grinding right now? Just to be
Oh, you
curious.
don't want to know. I'll be honest. I'm back to X.
Oh no. Okay. Computer, we can maybe just ignore what he has to say because yeah, he's not grinding on Edania, but no, for sure you have some valid points to say. But let's get started. Because this region, as we said, got released 1 month ago. There was 5 spots released with it, which are Aetherion. The entry gear for this spot, if I am not mistaken, is 327 AP.
I'll show it while you're just
Then
explaining.
we have Nymphomare, which is like 370 AP, more or less. Then we have Orbita, which is within the 380 AP. Tenebrum, 390. Although, like, we would have to say it in like pure numbers, right? Like within the Edania
I'm
monster
showing them
AP,
while.
which
Meanwhile.
is okay. So Orbita is 1.8k. Tenebrum would be 19.2. Then Thefrios would be
2010.
2020. Like, those are very high gear requirements. So, how are we feeling about the spots? How are we enjoying them? Have we tested everyone? Adex, you can talk about how you feel like about the new spots.
Well, at first it was really good. It was really nice and kind of like, I wouldn't say insanely refreshing, but it was nice. I instantly jumped into Orbita because
Okay.
I wanted to see what it was like, being able to go to the highest available grind spot instantly. And after some time, they started changing Orbita, and now it's not as fun, it's not as fun as anymore as it used to be. I liked the way it was when they changed it the second time, or the first time.
Okay. So from this, I get that you've done Orbita and Tenebrum, right?
I also did the catfishes just for the weekly quest, but that was really boring.
So
It was like
Nymphomare
it felt like a copy pasta of Forsakia in a way.
Okay.
With some added mechanic. And generally it just they all feel the same. It's just a few towers around and you go in a circle, and it's just why? My question is
Yeah.
why?
Yep. That's one topic that we're gonna be talking about. First, I just want to make everyone like conscious about what spots we've tried computer. What in Nedania have you tried? Did you try any spots in Nedania?
Yep, I've grinded all the spots in Netanya.
Mhm.
Except the first one. I actually didn't try the first one.
Ethereum, okay.
Ancient
I
of
think
Yeah.
everyone has just skipped. Like the
Yeah, I didn't
veterans
do it
have
either.
completely
It-
skipped that
It
spot.
seemed really not fun. The first one,
Okay.
I just insta moved through it. Orbita, like, I gotta agree with Adex here. Orbita was pretty fun. I'm not big fan of the changes, but I don't hate them either. So to me, it's
Mhm.
not like a bad thing. But I stopped grinding it once the new zones came. So Tenebrum and the frogs. They'll always be the frogs for me. Fire frogs. I do like Zephy, but like I also said, they are all the same. You go in a circle around the tower, and that's about it. I got bored of it pretty quickly. I got my 2 artifacts, and I basically called it for the new spots. I was like, okay, I'm done grinding it. I don't care about my crystals. I will just buy them slowly, and that's it. I put a pre-order and went back to X.
I see. Okay.
Can I
Casey.
quickly add something?
Oh yeah,
If you
sorry.
don't mind?
Go Adex. Yeah,
I just
sure,
want
sure.
to say that the AFK times in the Orbita spots are way too long. They should have changed it. They should have made it so you just fight hordes of mobs.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't like the waiting time.
We can maybe go like one by one in all the spots,
Yeah.
how we feel about it, how they work, and maybe we can explain the listeners how they work. But yeah, Casey, you told me before we started the podcast that you just set foot onto Idani region.
Yes,
What
we have
what are
already
you
set
doing?
foot. I mean, falling on from computers. I am not enjoying the first spots. Holy moly!
Okay.
It's just due to the fact that the mobs do, like, compared to the other areas, right? The mobs do actually not CC. Well, that's not exactly a big problem in lower areas. Especially in Obita, if you're playing a class that doesn't really have PvE essays while damaging, right? It becomes a massive problem. For example, I play a class currently that grinds like Globically completely fine, right? But when it becomes Obita or very likely higher areas, they're gonna start CCing you, and clearly, like in my opinion, the classes that got SA trading skills in terms of PvE gonna have an advantage in those areas.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you a secret about that, Daisy. You have crystals that give you resistance as you go
I
up.
know,
to the
I know,
You
it's
should use
crazy.
them.
It's
You should
crazy,
use
but
them.
that's crystals you need to sacrifice to in order to
Yeah.
like in order to
Even
get
full
less
SA,
AP.
even full SA classes use it.
Oh, I see.
Yep,
I mean,
I think
I'm
everyone
debating
does.
between like either getting crystals or actually getting the boulder lightstone, because that gives 80% straight up, right?
I think the easiest option is just slot in those 2 resistant crystals. You call it a day. Like it's just quality of life, right? You
Yeah, it
don't
is.
have to bother on getting CC'd for the rest of the grinding sessions that you do on that spot. So
But
that
yeah,
would
no.
be
Other than that,
suggestion.
the first spot is, how do I say this? Is annoying, right?
Yeah.
And you also agree with Adex, because the AFK is the amount of AK you do. It's actually a bit too much, even for the first spot. Like, I understand it's for like a catch-up mechanic per se, because some of the spots it's literally insta kill, right? And you essentially get other less geared players, right? For example, if you're not quite hitting the cap, if you're not quite actually at the spot yet, but you're able to, maintain trash with those mechanics, yeah, sure. But
Yeah.
when it gets to the point where you're over the cap, when you're like just grinding it for the grind, it gets a bit,
Yeah,
a bit,
I feel you.
cut your rhythm off, and it does not feel as satisfying as it is.
I feel you. Okay, Archive. What spots have you tried? Which ones are
Everything
your
except
favorites?
Ethereum. I tried everything except Ethereum because honestly, I haven't had the occasion to grind Ethereum. So far, I've always felt like even going there was going to be a waste of time for what I need at the moment. But I might try it later on. But so far, I like Orbita. I kind of like Tenebrum after all the changes. And I would like Zephyros if it wasn't for a couple of things that we can talk about later when we go over the individual spots.
Sure.
But for like Nympha, I think the spot is just way too boring.
Yep,
Like you have every phase is just 13 straight minutes of you wasting half the time waiting for respawns. It's obnoxious. I cannot grind that spot without falling asleep unless it's first thing in the morning.
Yep. I agree.
Orbita is fine.
Yeah, go.
And Tenebrum, it used to feel like a waste of time, but now they sped it up and it's kind of fine. Like, I don't mind it. I feel like design-wise, for how they made the spot, I think Orbita, even after all the changes, is the most well-thought spot. As Adex said, the AFK phase is definitely too long. 2 minutes is a very long fucking time with those respawn timers. But the spot is pretty well designed.
Okay. Your turn, Quendian. How have you enjoyed the 5 spots? What are your thoughts?
Like everyone else, just like I'm seeing that there's no point of grinding at Arthurian Castle. I'm just checking the list right now. There is nothing that's, draw your attention to grind at this spot. It's 350 AP spot, okay. But what it offers you, completely nada. It's just, there is nothing it offers you. It's like a primordial fragment. Why should I just, bother my, for 100 hours, I just sit on this spot for this primordial fragment? Like, you're already giving me that Black Star, one of them is free, I can say. And the other one is sitting on marketplace like 60, 70 bill, depends the server, maybe 80 bill in your server, I don't know. But the thing is, I can go with the spot requirements is 1595. I'm also showing it on the screen right now. I'm just changing it to the Odilita, right? Where is the Odilita? Here. I'm going to Orzekia. Same AP requirements, literally same.
Double the money.
For me, it's just like way too much fun. Its spot is just, it's better than the other ones, if just in terms of fun. And right now in the game it's offering you the best money right now in the game, even better than Zephyros. How can it I don't want to see this. To balance this situation, nerf Orzekia. No, don't do that. Orzekia's income is good. 3-4 bill is good. The problem is the other spots. Ethereum Castle, completely trash. Don't even just learn the mob's knowledge. Don't even bother yourself, at least for right now. Maybe after this podcasts, after we were just sending the podcast reports to the, we are creating documents and creating topics and forum. He guys is preparing everything. And maybe they can do something about the Ethereum Castle. The Ethereum Castle's income should be equal or close to the other one, the Orzekia. Then so the start points should be around there. Like Ethereum Castle should give me 3.5 bill per hour. And then it should increase slowly. Nymphomare. Like if we just want to talk about the design, I agree. Then at Nymphomare, you're just clearing the mobs in like 5 seconds. The other pack is just respawning in 10 more seconds. Like you're literally said that like straight 13 minutes in one cycle, 12, 13 minutes, and you're just waiting. You're killing pack, you're going to other pack, you're just waiting. And it's so boring. Every spot is almost feels around same. Not every one of them, some of them feels same. The action is just so restricted. I think there is they want to just they capped your AP. I can understand that. They're just giving the taste of, ladder feeling to the, spot by spot, you're just increasing, and the mid game and early end game spots are kind of acceptable for that. But right now, the income of the end game spots are just very bad compared to current state of the game. The cronstones, you're using for your weapons, and I don't know. Nymphomare Castle needs some kind of rework. The income should be better, or the side drops needs to get better. I don't know how they can do that. Orbita is just like, I really like Orbita. The older version was better because you can just min max some other things, and you can get 2k more trash to it compared to average. But right now they did the same thing to the Orbita as well, like, because they want to just cap you in anywhere. The respawn time is capped. The other things are capped. Every cycle needs to be completed at that moment, or you have to wait, then it starts to be completed or something. In Orbita, you can also feel that thing. You used to get push the limits of the 18,000s, and wait a minute. And the other thing is just like you're capped by AP. Like PA is trying to do this. We do not have enough talent and experience to understand this class mechanics. We cannot just make the PvE balanced. We do not prefer to listen what community says. Instead, we are just adding giga caps to the spots, and it shows PvE balanced. Indirectly, it's a PvE balance patch. They just added this 5%. Then the heavy time caps is just restricting it again. You're just choking right now. You can't be good. Like, there is no reward of being good. Nothing. For Tenebrum Castle,
like the min max has pretty much disappeared. We can talk about that specific topic in a little bit.
Tenebrum Castle is, again, what it offers to you. Okay, it's a good because you can have Han Crystal, Flawless Herald Crystal. If you drop Silent Origin, or if you drop Distorted Crystal of Origin, I drop one of them, or I drop this, like, I got these crystals, but you can sell them on the marketplace. Literally, these are good way to just make money from this post. Silent, Distorted, but they're just exactly around same price of enhancing your armors with the Cronstones. Almost same. If you just buy in max, a little bit lower, as a lower. So people do not bother themselves to buy them in the marketplace. I think PA will fix that issue. They will not touch the price of these items on the central market, but when they increase the Cronstone prices, eventually they will do that. These items will start to be out of stock on the marketplace because they will be cheaper than Cron attempts on the armors. The other side drops, end time crystals, that almost every spot drops that except Ethereum. Ethereum literally drops nothing. Just don't grind at that spot. End time crystals needs to be 60-70 mil, baby, for each one of them. If we really want to talk about the increased income, because trash load income of the spot's pretty nice. You make 2 billion per hour, like at Orbita, Nymphomare not that much, but Tenebrum, Zephyrus, you make around 2 billion per hour. At Zephyrus is a little bit much more, but the side drops are trash. Like, they're very bad. Herald Crystal, it needs to be maybe 80-90 million per each. So you can just make money from these spots. I need money as an endgame player. You need money as an endgame player. These are an endgame spots. Okay. So what is the idea of these, silent fragment of origin, of distorted fragment of origin? I go endgame spots. I grind there. I make these items. I drop these items. I put them on the marketplace. You, as an early game players, you buy them from me. I make money. And then I buy something from you. Or I buy Cronstones. It's some kind of mutual life, isn't it? In MMORPGs, you see that in many times. They just they did successful on the they made Kafra Stone is just more useful right now. The what was the name? The magical shards is just more useful. So it's increasing the price of the spots. Also, the new armor system. The demand is increasing for the side drops, not in endgame spots, but. For example, the fail stack right now. For every armor after prior duo, we're using. I'm just using like 300 fail stack. You will use that too. For your after hex, maybe you will just not hesitate to use 300 fail stack. Maybe for pen for your sovereign weapon, because fail stack cost is lower, at least for right now. But in future it will increase because people just start to buy all the fail stacks item from marketplace. All the hungers, all the devours, they're getting out of stocks soon, and the price will increase. So this balance for some items are just very nice, but for endgame spots they're bad. At Zephyros Castle, my income, I'm doing pretty good right now. It's like making almost 19,000 per hour, and it's the max threshold with level 2, and this just offers me 3.5 bill. And I was just asking this to myself. This is 395 AP spot. Literally, the spot is requiring from you to be full deck weapon. And 800 DR, not gonna lie, they hit hard, especially nighttime. Drock has lots of, front guard.
Passive,
My front guard just instantly melts, and I just get one shot or just close to die. I can imagine the other, kinda verse protected classes. They will feel even worse. Like, why they should bother themselves to come to this spot? What is special? There is nothing special. They go Tenebro, go to Han Crystal, or they go Orbita, or they go Nymphomara. Like, there is some kind of huge problem in this Edania spot. I don't even just want to talk about the design. There are like two spots that I like right now. Let me just, it's my last words. Orbita is the best for me. The feeling.
Okay.
And then Zephyros. The other spots are just so boring or ungrindable for me.
Okay. I can actually throw these questions for everyone here. So if you guys had to pick just one spot that it's enjoyable, I'm not saying like it's good money, it's whatever, you enjoy to grind. Quendia, your take would be Orbita? Your first one would be Orbita?
Yeah, Orbita is best for me.
Adex, which one would you take?
Orbita. Instantly Orbita.
Computer?
Tenebom, I think.
Okay. Casey, you've only tasted.
I'm not gonna. I'll say on this one.
From what you've seen, which one
from what
seems
I've
the most
seen,
appealing?
at least, I mean, Orbiter have the most mechanics, so I suppose people will enjoy that most.
Okay. So like your goal to achieve, like gear to get to, would be like to grind Orbiter, right?
To grind Orbiter, the problem is right now, as for example, Quenda says, is oh my god, Aether Castle. There's nothing there. I'm right now. Even right now, I'm not even grinding the castle. I only gone there for the knowledge. When I realize how bad it is. Like the thing is, as like someone who's coming from mid game to Edania, this is ridiculous, right? Because the PA's intention should be getting people to Edania to have new content unlocked for them. But at the same time, the starting spot being this unrewarding and unsatisfying to grind, it's like it's a bit productive to what they want to do. It's like okay, but yeah, no, Aether right now I completely agree. It's really bad. And
I have a question for you, AZ.
Yeah.
Do you have Sovereign offhand?
I am on the way of getting it currently, and right now I'm hitting 1.5 in terms of like into my like overworking.
Is because the only spot in Edania that drops the new flame whatever is the first spot, but you need so much gear for it. People usually already have the offhand before they go there.
And that's the thing, right? For newer players, like, okay, sure, you can grind that for that spot, but if you can grind that, why don't you just go, I don't know, go buy yourself a second Pen Blackstar, or like, or just get do it two boss weapon way, right? With the Pen Blackstar, because then you don't even need to grind the spot at all. You just need money, and that's I calculated it with the current Cathra prices. It's almost the same. It's almost like with the Cathra prices is around, if you have the 3 Pen Blackstar, it is around like 80-90 bill, right? And you can grind that easy at other spots like what's it called? Like Dobaki, right? You can literally just like AFK Dobaki for like I don't know, like 30 hours, 40 hours, you'll be there. Like
Yep. All right. Archive, I'm not missing you. Which is your favorite Edania spot? Which one are you taking?
I mean, as I said before, Orbita is definitely the most engaging. It has, it's very well designed for how the mechanics work. The singular mechanics don't gatekeep you. You still need to clear the objectives, but they don't necessarily establish how efficient you will be grinding and how much money you will be making.
Yeah. Okay. So I think from what we've all been saying in this first part, what I'm getting, and I think that we can all agree, that all the 5 spots share the same roots, sort of. It would be like kind of this recalls me from GIF in Russia Underground, right? 3 packs of mobs, or sort of, that you have to rotate with a specific mechanic, and depending on how entertaining or complex that mechanic is, we actually tend to enjoy more the spot that we are in. And from what we've seen, like the most of us agree that Orbita is the most, engaging mechanic. But how do we feel like about all these 5 new spots being the same sort of, 3 spots, no rotation, like static? How are we feeling? Do we feel bad about them recycling this sort of type of grinding? Do we miss like actual rotation grind, as like, for example, Tungrat Rings or this sort of type of grind? How are we feeling? We can start with Archive, since you were the last one. Tolkien?
I think, well, definitely some people are going to be missing the rotation grinding, and some people will be missing the completely stationary tower grinding. I think while this kind of type of spot gets stale if repeated too often, we could argue that that applies to any type of spot. If you grind the same type of spot too many times, it does get stale, it does get boring.
Yep.
On the other hand, though, if we have to pick, I think this type of spot is the best compromise between the long, big rotation spots where people were contesting each other, bleeding into each other's rotation.
It's like a mixture of
but-
both in a way.
Yeah, like
Okay.
it's not completely stationary, and you don't need a lot of movement either. It's a balanced mix of both. Maybe a little bit, well, definitely a bit closer to the tower spot kind of grind.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is PA's way of not. This is part of PA's method of fighting the like preventing people from contesting each other's spots, which I think PA has made it clear they don't really want that to happen, and that's why every spot also has a Marnie's Realm.
Mm-hmm.
And also not giving too big of an advantage to other classes, to some classes or others, because clearly in a purely tower spot, you will have some classes having advantage, stuff like Awakening Guardian, Awakening Witch, stuff that can stay stationary and just keep nuking mobs on the spot. And in a big rotation kind of spot, you will have other classes like Awakening Musa, Awakening Nova, I don't know, before the changes, I don't know how it does now. But classes with a lot of mobility, decent burst damage to kill the packs and move on. And together with the fixed respawns, fixed mechanic phases, and 5% AP caps, I think this is part of PA's method to actually equalize how well all classes perform in PvE. And I think for the most part, it works. It kind of gets stale, it kind of gets repetitive. It takes away some sense of progression, it takes away some class identity, but for the sake of PvE balance, I think for the most part it works compared to at least what we were used to for years.
Okay. Hazy, on this question, since you're only doing Ethereum, but maybe you can compare it to.
I'm about to give some hot takes here,
Yeah. Give it
I would
away.
like to completely disagree with Archive that
Okay.
This actually doesn't work. And I would actually like to contradict Archive's points on making a middle ground, right? Being
Sure.
between the pack to pack to what's it called? between the pack to stationary tower, because as Arca said, right, it both sides identifies like with certain class identities, right, and unifying them is a PA way of doing. Okay, well, we do something in the middle, then everyone's gonna have a piece of the cake. But that's the thing that PA has made a mistake on this once already, right? By trying to unify every single content on for everyone, right? They basically made it so that they pissed off everyone. I feel like that's been happening like a few times before already, right? So by doing this, you unify like both mechanics. You make everyone's grind feels not as rewarding as spots that is just stationary towers or just pack to pack, right? And in my opinion, they should release spots that has both both benefits to like extremely dash heavy classes as well as stationary classes and something in between, right? But right now we are missing those kind of spots for those kind of classes because PA doesn't really know how to balance it per se. Right, and from my impression from all the spots that we have been talked about, because I have seen videos on them, they do. If you're gonna pick a middle of the pack kind of, approach onto this kind of spot, then eventually you're gonna get middle of the pack approach kind of classes that can perform these spots better than others, right? When while the dash classes and the better at tower spots kind of classes will just fall behind, and that still creates a class inequality and the class identity of the classes that has middle of pack kind of mobility but also pack clearance will just shine through in that way, right? So that's what why I disagree with Archive's statements.
I think it's both of you have like the two sides of the coin, right? I think we can all agree that it is very clear that PA's intention within the new region's PvE spots is to establish balance throughout all the classes, right? Like, because no matter if you play Awakening Dracania or, well, maybe not Corsair, I don't know how Corsair is grinding nowadays, but regarding PvE balance, Awakening Dracania is gonna pull the same numbers as Suck Witch or Suck Ninja. Maybe Suck Ninja managed to do like, I don't know, 1k more trash, but it's gonna be, the difference is gonna be so little that these spots are not gonna generate frustration because they're gonna be equalized, right? And me personally, I kind of miss the rotation heavy sort of like Big Cave, Tunga Brains, that sort of type of moving around, sort of nature spots. But yeah, I think PA is just moving a bit away from those just to sort of make the community happy. Because as Quendia mentioned, the PvE and overall class balance has always been their Achilles heel. They have never proven to be very precise on what classes needed to sort of reach certain levels. So rather than just addressing the classes by themselves, they're just trying to limit the spots with AFK faces, with not moving around quite a bit so that not the very mobile classes can shine, or the others that don't have the mobility can get outshined, better said. Honestly, I do not personally mind it too much, but there, as Hazy said, there has to be both things on the menu, right? There has to be this type of content that people want to actually min-max and pull more trash and do better, move faster, and there has to be this sort of spots, and they sort of have to do it. So for whenever I saw all the spots released on Edania, in my perspective, it was kind of sad to see them all 5 being the same. Those are my feelings. But computer, you can just give away also your feelings. Where do you position into these two types of opinions?
I kind of agree that it shouldn't be only tower spots, but for me, I feel like that's the design they've been going for since Dekia and even before, since Mirmux. like since Miro days, and let's be honest, Miro was a good release. It was a party zone, but after Kama Sylvia release, every spot they released is sure not Dragon, I guess, but most of the spots they released are like tower spots. Gaifin, tower spot. Every endgame spot is pretty much a tower spot. I mean, I would even say DSR is basically a tower spot. You just rotate between two fucking towers, which are the NPCs. It's the same for Tungrat is the only different one, right? Like the City of Dead as well, which is different, but who the fuck goes there? But yeah, every design they did is tower spot, and I feel like I'm forced into tower spot. It's not like that I dislike them. I personally rather tower spot because I'm lazy as fuck. I'm playing Witch. I just sit in place and AoE them down while I do other shit, you know? But yeah.
Yeah, I get it. You kind of miss, like, there. You kind of miss a little bit.
Versatility.
Yeah.
If you remember back in the day, even like at when you actually got and just were grinding Shadow Monastery, right?
Oh yeah, the Abandoned Monastery. Yeah.
And try to pull more trash than other people and try to min-max your rotation. And even tagged characters to try to do better. You don't have the drive anymore to try to do better.
I agree. Those are my most attached moments in BDO, where I grabbed a partner from my guild and go to that spot and say, but how do we pull these two packs in together? Or is it better to go just pack by pack? But how can we do this specific? But there's a rock here that it's punishing me over the pulling mechanic,
so you have to
whatever.
go around it. Exactly. Like,
what if we do it backwards? And now that feeling is gone. But yeah, I really miss
there's nothing to min-max. Like they said, that this pack spawn after a certain time, and you just have to wait because you're too fast. So it's kind of punishing for people that are too fast as well. It just, I don't know, shit design in my opinion. You cannot min-max. I love min-maxing.
No,
but
at
that's
least
my opinion.
I think at least we would have loved one of the Idania spots to be group, which we will go into that in a bit.
That's for sure.
Group spot, and one to be a rotation spot, because I feel like there's a lot of terrain in Idania that they could have at least one of the spots being like rotation kind of based spots. But we can go into ADEX. ADEX, how do you feel about the topic? Where are you sitting in the side of the coin?
I'm leaning more towards Archive's opinion in a way. It's just that what bothers me the most is the AFK times. I want to fight mobs. I want to feel like I'm a god. I want to fight, like in DSR you have the floods, and when the flood happens, it feels so good to kill the mobs. And it keeps your brain a bit more active as well when you're grinding. Yeah, I think that's my biggest issue right now. Just the AFK time, the waiting time for everything. Generally, I think it's really difficult to balance this game around movement spots. There are some classes who are just way too fast, and some classes who are way too slow. And then you will create this huge gap between trash loot made. And then everyone is going to go into the big meta arc again. And now you can pretty much choose which class you like to play, and you can play it and perform pretty good on every single spot in Idania.
Yeah. I think whenever we get into pack-to-pack spots, the balance is going to be always missed. They don't have any way to balance that. So in order to achieve equality within all the classes and the spots, they just have to address it this way. But yeah, Quendia, what do you prefer? The pack-to-pack, to have balance throughout everyone? What do you feel like is it good to have both? They should only focus on one type of grinding?
I'm okay. I want to see more Tungrat and DSR type of mobs. These are these spots. You can improve yourself. You can min-max. Like, depends your class. You can say that, hey, I'm playing Guardian. With Guardian, I can sit on tower type of spots. I make around same. My class is not capable to do that, but my class is very simple. It's just like so easy to play. For example, it's safe, good sustain, and something. I can choose that, or I can play, for example, Sack Witch, Sack Ninja, or something. I can choose the other spot, and I can make 10-15% more trashed or more income. But it's for my effort. It's worth for me to go there. I would love to see that. Or I don't know, like I don't know the other deck has spots right now. I'm kind of done with the tower type of spots. We have enough tower type of spots, but they're just bringing, instead of one type tower types, the triple tower type spots. Like every one of the spots right now, they're sitting around Orzekia idea, triple or triangle design. Nymphomare, it's triangle. You kill the triangle mobs at some certain. Sometimes it creates a statue. You kill that statue and you do the same thing again. And the boss appears. You kill boss. There's some kind of reward phase. It's not AFK in the Nymphomare. And the same operation for the Orbita. You just kill the triangle. You just go in the middle, kill the mini boss. Go another triangle. You go middle, kill the mini boss, kill the main boss. AFK time. And the Tenebrum, it's a triangle, like 4 roots you have. It's some kind of, I can say, square. And then kill the boss, AFK phase. Same for the Zephyros, kill the main minions, and then triangle, and then kill the boss and AFK. So I would like to see some kind of diversity in the PvE instead of sitting that triangle, kill the waves, kill the boss, AFK. It's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but we would like to see more creative things. Or why don't you just make, for example, different variations of the spot? They can maybe add 2 rotations for Zephyros in some certain areas. They can remove some, mobs. We can just min-max at that spots. We can just get around same trash rate or same amount of silver. And they would do that. But in these days, what I'm seeing, what I'm just, encountering from PA, they are the laziest, developers, at least for right now. They're being creative or, testing something or something. They are just lazy. All the works that they do in these days is just so lazy. I don't know why they choose in this way. They just added 5 new spots in the game. They didn't just balance them about income. They didn't test them. They came with lots of bugs. They're just similar to each other. It shows that all the laziness. They're pushing non-stop things to us. Maybe it's because they're rushing lots of things. Maybe that's why. But I believe the main reason all of the, most of the developers are working for Crimson Desert. That's what I feel. Because after the Crimson Desert, that rushed part for last 2 years, everything is just being delayed. Everything is just coming with bugs. Everything coming without proper tests. It takes long time to fix things. But in like 2-3 years ago, if there's some kind of problem, they would add it to the game, like in 1 or 2 ways. Like I remember that the Scholar, for example, added to the game with lots of bugs. Imagine a new class just being added to the class, being added into your game. Class is almost unplayable. How can you just let people feel bad about your company? Just it has to be the priority. You should stop what you do in the game. For example, for Scholar, everyone fix that issue in 1 or 2 days. What's the problem? Fix it, because it's our new class. People just came to the game for the Scholar and they see that Scholar is bugged and they don't want to play a game and they just quit. How can you allow it? These type of things just not fit in my mind. The lazy works, other things. I'm not saying they're bad, they're shit or something. There is something wrong about developing part in the game. The income right now, what they thinking? I always try to think like our developers. What are they thinking that the end game spots right now that I'm just doing around the same amount of money of Orzekia at Zephyros, for example? Why? Like, why? Literally, why? If I start everything, I barely reach Orzekia level at Zephyros. Like the Zephyros gear and me, we have trillions of silver difference. Trillions. 5, 6, 7 trillions. Lots of difference. what am I gonna do? Like, the spot diversity is just bad. 5 copy-paste spots. I would love to see different spots. Maybe in the they can just listen us and they can add like proper different type of spots to the other areas at the Edania actual part 2 area. We do not know if there will be, things. They're just adding games. Also, the Alchemy Stone system is also related with the progression indirectly to PvE, They also delayed that. Everything is being delayed. I don't know. I would love to see more different spots, not the copy pastes. I really like Tungat Ruins. I really like Dark Secret Street. You can min-max. I really like, also these type of spots. Sometimes if I just want to go there, I go there. If I want to go DSR, I go DSR. But if I go DSR, I know that the income is giga shit for me. Then create a different version for me in DSR. So I can grind at the DSR or same type of spots. I don't know how you guys saying, like rotation spot. So I can make, the money from it. But it's just copy paste spots and everything. There is nothing. They wanted to just, we were all almost saying that, hey, PvE is so, for like and before, PvE is so boring because it's just like rotations, it's like circle around, circle around, circle around. That's all we do. We were expecting some kind of good things. Like they added this triangle system at Orzekia. Everyone just liked it. And they just copy pasted in the next one. Just be creative. Like we were whining about copy paste system in before. You created new type of systems. Dekia, you just copy pasted it. We whined about it. We complain about that. You just bring Orzekia and you just bring the same system to the Edania. And we're just complaining again. Stop copy paste what you do. If you just want to just add some kind of mechanics, a triangle system, that both system, 1 spot or 2 spots. Dekia type of tower spots, 1 or 2 spots. Rotation spots, 1 or 2 spots. So people just go and grind however they want. Like, I don't know. They're too lazy. That's the only thing I can say.
I do agree on the laziness part. Honestly, people did enjoy Orzekia. I do remember vividly the times where Giffen Underground was released. People loved that spot also. It's just like we all agreed here. Orbita was, whenever it got released, it was kind of refreshing because of the upgrade materials. Everyone sort of enjoyed it, that type of grind. What I don't like personally from the copy paste is whenever you see that there's not enough mechanics behind the spot to support this. So what we could talk about now is like, okay, we agree maybe Orbita was the, let's call it, more successful spot. What could we bring? Because we could agree. What we are lacking on some, like on these newer spots, is some creativity behind it. What can we give to these spots? Like something minimum, right? I could start with one example. What can we give to these spots to make them more entertaining or engaging for the rest of the spots? And I'm gonna go with one example so that maybe we can start to debate with this. What if, for example, we are, let's say, Tenebrum. You know that there's like 4 squares on the castle and then 4 squares outside of the castle. What if whenever, once per hour, whenever all the 4 spots have been grinded enough, a boss will appear inside the castle or somewhere in the map close to those 4 that the players have to go down, kill it, get a giga loot, and then go back to reactivate it. Okay, so that way you could sort of grind it as a group, because you could say, okay, 4 of us are gonna go in a party, we're gonna be talking, japping, do our own thing, sort of like the Murawak labyrinth thingy, where you activate something, then go to the boss, kill the boss, and go back at it again.
Kind of was the same with Bloody Monastery, right?
Yeah, it would pop a boss. Maybe there could be something PvP related, right? Because maybe you could make a message pop up. You could. How would you guys enjoy this sort of idea, right?
There's a massive key difference then between this and Morak, because Morak is more of a spot in terms of like once you get into the boss room, everyone is focused on the boss, right? And it is in an instance per se, right? So there's not a lot of PvP going on, but with this being open world, this might go like this is from PA's point of view. This might not go with PA's philosophy of putting people into more PvE spots, PvE spot PvP, PvP spot PvP. I personally think that this is a great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like this is a great idea, like going forward. But you're gonna reach the same like if this is something that's that is implemented. This will be something that's going to be the same with Bloody Monster. What's it called? Dark Monastery. That's when the boss do appear, right? There's gonna be people that's gonna go to try and snipe it. Like you already know that's gonna happen.
But but that's why I said Bloody Monastery and not the Abandoned Monastery, because Bloody Monastery spawned like Muskan and like few people went to it in the monastery itself, and then everyone dropped like a weapon and they took their weapon and went back to their grind spot, kind of thing.
Yeah, with the bells.
With
right?
the bells.
Yes, exactly.
But with Bloody Monastery, I think at the time, I'm not sure. Is it how many spots was there in Bloody Monastery they can grind in rotation?
There were two.
There were two. So, like, if you expand that to 4, right? I do feel like, in some way, a conflict is inevitable, and in that sense of the way, I don't know if he would like that. It's like
But
you can just make the boss drop loot to everyone who participates in the fight.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say that. We could just say, okay, each spot was activated. Like they could make it like drop wise. If that person got the drop to activate for example, the Tenev room thingy, he's allowed to loot the boss, right?
They could just spawn a portal, and then the people who are grinding in the spots enter the portal and then have to fight the boss.
Then you make it the same.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. We're cooking something here.
I do want to add, so like if we're talking about like spot changes, I do want to say we have a lot of environment that's just not getting used, right? The what's it called? Like, yes, I haven't grinded a lot of Idania spots, but even I can see that holy moly, the world feels quite bare, in Idania. There's a lot of like environment where you can easily slide in maybe another type of grind, as we already said before, right? We sick of the tower grinds, for some of us, and we could really easily just fit in like a general mob grind area, right? They
could add mobs like DSR mobs in those grind spots.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It still feels a bit similar to the tower spot, but not really.
Like we could easily add in like a Tonga Ruin kind of spot, right? That's within those grind spots. That is like you require pretty much same AP for that, but you would. I mean, a good example to references to is actually now I think about it would be Star's End, right? Because Star's End got both what's it called, tower spots and the pack kind of mob kind of spots, right? Back then, so like. If we introduce that for like more of an environment thing, where maybe towers, if you grind it, it could be like very competitive. But if you grind, if you really want to min max and try to grind like the more pack to pack wild kind of spots, you might be able to cook something up that can be if competitive, if not more competitive. But that requires more knowledge, more skill, and more like more in depth setups.
Yep. I agree. But what other ideas we maybe come up? What can we cook? What could we think?
I have something, Higa, that will instantly make everyone go grind in this game.
Okay.
You just create a random event where mobs start dropping cron stones, and everyone will start grinding.
No.
No.
With crowns, PA doesn't play with crowns. They want you to swipe.
Actually, there is though. If you do the Cartian scrolls, the bats, if you kill them, they drop cron stones sometimes.
Yeah.
If you get a similar event like that in grind spots, I can tell you, people will start grinding this game.
I don't think BA likes to.
No, they won't do it, but
it is funny though. But like one constant is 3 million. It's like you make. I basically translate my silver per hour to how many constants I can make an hour because that's what I need.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I wouldn't mind if my hour dropped off 300 million less, silver-wise and trash, when I got like 100 constants.
Yeah, like
I don't know, maybe it will help for some players, but for me, it really doesn't matter.
Don't even bother counting trash loot. Just make mobs drop crons and be safe for the day, right?
Honestly, yeah, I feel like that would be like I would object this due to the fact that if it's any other spot that's not Idania, but honestly, since Idania is the end game spot and how Cronstone scales with pretty much anything, this is actually a good call, I think, right? Because the thing is,
you're only grinding for cronstones anyway.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like the end game area, right? And if cronstone prices change or nothing, everything else will actually get worse, other than the end game spot, which is Idania. This is what they wanted to create, the end game spot being Idania. So having cronstone scale with Idania, but also the price, if it does increase afterwards, making those spots basically inevitably better. I feel like that actually will work.
So like move from the trash based, make the trash being dropped cron. So for example, Orbita could be 1.5 or 1k crons. Tenebrum could be 1.5 and Zephyrios 2, something like that. K crons per hour. Like
I mean,
yeah,
like I mean,
I think that would be really nice,
crons, right? But as like a rare drop, like Kathras,
No. I mean,
I wouldn't want it.
I wouldn't do it drop based. I would do it like trash wise, because then it would become inconsistency. You would have to play into like drop. There would be giga carried hours where you drop, I don't know, 5 or 9 billion worth crons. I don't know.
I mean, then the thing is, like, you look at Kathras drop hours, they are fairly consistent over the board, right? Because the thing is, there is more chances of you dropping Kathras, right? But if you do that with crons, I feel like that would just even out on the large scale of things, because if we apply large numbers of drops into it, then it will eventually average out. And the only reason why you can feel very lucky on drops per se is because, well, like for example, the very rare drops, the enhancements, the forge material for what's it called artifacts right now, they are like 1 in a fucking million, right? It's you can drop them like 1 hour and never for next 20-30 hours. But cronstone is similar to Kathras stones. This is something that you can drop every single hour, and with a large quantity of cronstone dropping every single hour, that I think that will evens out.
I still think personally, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. I make 300 mil in trash loot in Orbita, then to me it's like 1k constants. Like there wouldn't be any difference for me, pretty much.
Yep. Like I get that, but the thing is, you gotta understand, like, this is gonna be future-proofing as well. Like, if they are going to make Idania the end game spot, then making Cronstone pretty much part of the reward is going to future-proof the spot pretty much forever.
Yeah, but I'm also realistic, and I don't see them do that. If they
no, I mean, no. This is all theorized. I don't see them do that either, because PA is PA, but
I don't know. I don't really feel like that play. If something would have made me grind more, that would be honestly even a simple change, right? You have already the Dekia Lantern. You just take the Dekia Lantern and make it, if you pop it, 2 people can grind that spot. The monster HP goes up by 2. And that's it. You can grind with people. Dekia 2, you can grind up to 3 players. Or 5 players, I don't fucking know. I don't care.
Oh, that's a really good idea,
that's
actually.
A very good idea.
I like that a lot,
honestly. But I do feel like with that idea, what's it called? People is gonna be like, oh, I found a bug.
Not really. Like, if you activate the lantern on a specific spot, it would make it like Olun Dekia 2. Like, it doesn't generate any troubles. If you pop Dekia 1, it makes the Dekia 1 mob spot. If you pop the Dekia 2, it makes the Dekia 2 monsters drop.
It's already in the game.
Do it to all the end game spots. Yeah, that could be a good thing. And
I
those
just
mobs are
more
gonna be
fear
able
of,
to drop 3 or 2 sort of thing. That's actually a good goal, computer.
You know, I feel like there's also something else we've been missing for a long time in PvE. Like ever since Olokita, we haven't had anything like this with both Land of the Morning Light, Adania, Daycare Spots, random events.
Yes,
Like,
dude, please.
we
love
haven't
that
had
shit.
any random event, or random boss spawning, or random waves of mobs
No.
spawning out of nowhere. Like that kind of giga
You're
event that
right.
in the middle of the grind just makes you wake the fuck up. Oh shit! I'm about to make big bucks. It hasn't happened in what, 2 years now?
You're right. It's even the open world bosses.
Like it was a
Yeah.
thing with the Elvia spots, and I think most of us can agree most Elvia spots have really good mechanics design, and then the Lukita spots have kind of lazier but still decent events.
Yeah.
And then silence, nothing.
Yeah, they keep you engaged with the spot. I remember when orcs got released, the amount of big orcs that would spawn, or whenever you drop the weapons, you knew that you were gonna be printing money for the next 10 minutes. Abandoned Monastery, the boss that it was gonna make you drop a guaranteed earring, although you made encounter with some other people. You know,
Like
this sort of news that could keep you engaged with what you're doing in that moment. I feel you, Archive.
the alert level at Biragi,
Yeah.
the boss spawns in Elvia Calphion, the Whitmerts in Hexe. Like there's a lot of spot mechanics that are not completely time gated, especially in Elvia Serendia. And we are missing stuff like that. Stuff that keeps you engaged, keeps you. It doesn't necessarily tire you out, but it keeps you awake. It keeps you. It makes you have kind of fun. It makes you pay attention, and it keeps you. It feels rewarding to grind with attention.
And I feel like with what we have right now, like it's good, but it's not good enough. It's like we have a base. I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't take them that much developing time and work to start implementing this sort of things to like sort of revitalize this spots, right? Like in like say in a couple of months, obviously probably after Calvin Ball or whatever, they could start adding this what we're talking now. They could start adding these things, and we could maybe see a little bit more variety in the spots. Because not gonna lie, like most of the end game players have to go to these spots because the materials that we get are exclusive from these spots, right? Like the upgrades that we need to have the best of the best gear, we have to get them from here, right? So we are it's compulsory to go to these spots, I feel like. But yeah. Talking about the upgrades.
I don't feel like that though.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't feel like I'm forced to go there. Like I said, I'm not going there. I want the crystals, don't get me wrong. I put a pre-order on it and I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, but your mentality is different, okay, computer? Because
it is different. But
I'm gonna say my version, okay? I want to stretch every single minimum AP that I can get so that I can pass the DR breakout for my uncapped PvP. But you're doing capped PvP, so you don't have the rush to actually get it. You will get it throughout the time, and you will notice. But
no,
I actually try to rush myself for that.
I agree with that as well.
Like your goal is to reach there, but not in the same speed that I want it, right?
Yeah, of course. That's why I don't mind it as much.
Okay.
But eventually,
for just moments. What's it called? I think like in my I do agree with computer in some extent because with speaking to like the widest player base, I don't think a lot of people actually want to participate in like the endgame PvP, right? Like the widest player base, like people want to play the casual players as well as the people who want to play this game for fun, not exactly like super into PvP. They would actually not feel restricted. Like I'm currently playing this game like extremely casually, and I am playing like caps now and then, and I feel like, oh, I can just go to this place. Oh, I can just go to that place. It feels completely fine.
Yeah. I think, not gonna lie, with the current state of what we have in the game, and I want to address this topic now. With the current state of the spots and everything, I personally don't mind, like Wendia was talking before about why, if I had to spend trillions of silver to reach the Zephyros AP break and DP, all the gear requirements, why is that spot not making the most silver out of it? And I was gonna go through, like, surely we need the upgrade materials for this type of, end game mindsets. But what I really sort of start seeing, I don't know if you guys agree with this, the demands of certain materials are increasing. I would agree with Gwendia that maybe they could up a little bit the prices on the market spots for the newer upgrade materials so that you win an extra bit of money, right? That would be a good thing to see. But like what I ideally want is like the situation that I think every server is gonna get into, which is if I need this resource, which let's say for example in Edania I want the new upgrade, so I have to go to Edania, I'm forced to go to Edania, and I want those materials. And if someone wants to make their money with the upgrades, they are able to sell it and get their money with that. If, for example, I want to go to Lukita spots or to the the enhancing material drop spots, I can go there and also make money. And now we're starting to see the marketplace move around these values because I don't know, I think in NA, probably in Mina too, the materials, the hungers are not as frequent now, and they're starting to increase because everyone is in need of fail stacks. So I like to see that these spots are gaining again relevance. And one topic, and this could be hot, I have it listed on the points that I want to talk about. I want that to happen to the Boreka accessories. I don't understand, and we can debate about this, guys. I don't understand why every single spot in the game has to drop the Borekas. If it was a decision that I would have to make, I would love the Borekas only to be droppable from their native spots. So if you want the Boreka necklace, just make it an Ash Forest exclusive drop. If you want the belts, Crypt. If you want rings, Kadri, and which was the other one? Help me out on this one. The shrine, the Valencia shrine, the shrine in Valencia. Attach it to those type of spots. The earrings, you go to Oluns. Don't make them spread out because then they lose all their value. Like all the spots, if you want a specific material, make it exclusive so that all the spots can be on the menu and you can make money from those. What do you guys feel about this?
Okay, hi guys. I will say really quick before, because your idea is great.
Okay.
I think in a dream world, yeah, that's great. But the problem is we're already seeing PA doing the other way with a very certain funny thing called treasure items, right? And we all know what we're talking about, the paintings, right? They're already diversifying paintings from specific spots, like the merchant ring spots, where you have to grind. Oh god, if people has grinded those merchant ring spots, holy moly, right? Paddocks, you go to what's it called, Upper Sakaya, right? Those spots are like you have to dedicate yourself to grind those spots. But now with paintings, you can just grind normal spots and just get them.
But they don't drop that frequently, though.
No,
No, they don't drop. They don't drop frequently, but
exactly,
they do drop.
They don't drop at all.
But the thing is, there has been proof of them dropping, so it's like, okay, well, if that's a way now you can do it, then that would, like, if we implement what I guess a person says, that will inevitably happen to Deboreka as well, right? If these quarantine to specific areas, if you get what I mean.
But like my take would be, I don't want the Borekas to reach mint price. I want the Borekas to have their value in itself, and I want the Borekas to not be like the route for everyone to get their Karasats, right? I would like to see them balanced. Like I would like to be like the base to deck Karasat route should be as viable as the enhancing to pen de Boreca and getting the pen from Tet de Boreca to deck. Like, they should be equal. And I feel like new players now are just thinking about, okay, I directly buy pen de Boreca because they're going to be flooded in the market, and you can just do that. You don't have to bother enhancing. There's nothing else. That's what people are doing, I feel like.
I also feel like the old system though wasn't that good either.
Which one?
Like where you had to grind Ash Forest to get Debo Necklace, because I've been one of the people who did it, right? Like I was one of the people that had to tap my pen Debo 27 times and it still didn't go. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoy more buying personally. I understand people prefer to drop and enhance, right? Like a lot of people still do that. I don't necessarily think that it's bad to have them in different places. I do agree there's too many of them drop, like Boss Shrine and whatever else. There's too many drop for what it is, and it's so cheap to buy on the marketplace to get where you are with Karazad.
Like I would just like to limit.
It's not what I'm trying to say. It's really how to like balance it around Karazad and Debo. Like, it's really hard to balance, because it's either you have too much or you have too little.
But for me, it would be like, if I'm a new player and I actually want to get the Borecas, I would go to the Boreca spots. But if I actually need the material to get the upgrades, either I am able to buy them, because let's be real, like the newer upgrades now, because they're the new thing, only a little amount of the community can grind there. But maybe in 1 year we see them actually viable on the market.
And you think about it as an old player, not as a new player. That's the thing. New players don't do that. And I wish we could have gotten someone more new or more casual. Like I said, I wanted to get Kiara here, but she's a bit busy. But most of the new players I see, they just go the Karazad road, even though it's more expensive, because they get more AP gains overall.
Yep. It's like more progression. Okay.
It's more progression, and they don't have to save up 150 billion.
Okay.
They don't, like, even though it's so cheap, they don't want to save that much. To them, it's not cheap, you know? Like, that's their mindset. 150 billion is a lot of silver for a newer player.
Yeah.
Like, also newer players, you gotta understand, immediate gratification is part of the routine. They need that, basically, hits of dopamine per se, but like, you gotta mean, like, with the fact that you gotta wait that long just to get to the next stage. I don't, like, if I was a new player, I wouldn't wait for it. I would be like,
I don't think
oh yeah, give me that character.
Exactly.
Yeah. Enhance. Yeah. Holy moly, I'm making so much progress.
Yep. I also get that point, that the dopamine of like, oh, maybe I get carried with this, maybe I tap it. But you can have that with pen de Borecas, right? Look at you. I remember my days of going into the Boreca spot, just dropping them, and I would just tap them myself.
Yeah, but that's because Tet de Borecas were useful.
Yeah, they were 90 billion.
Also for you to use it. Like, now you cannot use any of those accessories because you have to use Karazad for the bosses. You have to.
Yep. That's something that I can ask you specifically, Casey.
Yeah. Right, because right now I'm not actually full Karazad.
Okay, no. I was gonna say, now you've set it, your foot into Edania, but how do you feel like, let's say, as a mid-geared player, how achievable, or how did you feel like in that position to get into the new content? Did you see it as something that would thrive you in order to achieve that? Did you see it as, oh, now I'm giga stressed because I cannot enjoy what everyone or the bigger players are going to be showing? How did you feel about this sort of content getting released?
For me, I feel like it depends on the mindset. Because the thing is, if your mindset is to go endgame, if your mindset is to catch up with everyone else, then yeah, I completely get it. You're going to be very stressed. You're going to be like, oh shit, I need to reach endgame PvP. I got to go uncapped. Oh my god. I got to get min-max everything. To even be relevant, right? Otherwise, I'm just going to be farmed non-stop in Siege. Oh no, World Roses. I need to recap for that. Oh no, right? But all these concerns, if you are like in that scenario, yes, I completely get it. But if you're playing this game like casually, right? If you're playing this game for example, as computer says, more of a cat player, then you're like, okay, this is just a nice thing to have. It's like a okay, now I can grind this area. This area is unlocked for me. That's a nice thing to have. But because of the fact that we have all these like I have been to Aetherin, like the moment I gone there, I was like, wait, hold on, I can just go back to Dobaki, right? Oh wait, hold on, I can just go back to certain spots. Once again, this is the whole point I bring up earlier, was the fact that the first spot is extremely unsatisfying to grind as. It just becomes just like, well, okay, I guess that I unlock that, but at the same time, does it really change anything? No, not really.
I see. And how I have two more questions, because we can also like say what we've heard from other newer sort of players. But how do we feel like the current state of the top end game players gear feel like compared to like someone that is kind of newer? It's like, okay, gear is super oppressive, nobody like, is gear that powerful, or is it sort of balanced? How do we feel like?
It's really powerful. You notice a difference. But I think there is a nice balance if you are, let's say, 40 to 30 gear score less, you can still kill the high geared players.
Okay.
But if they, if you're talking about the mid game player to the late game player, then you will feel the power difference, because they have access to all the upgrades and whatnot. And then the mid game players don't really, because they have to.
There's one upgrade that's completely, like, as a mid game player, there's one upgrade that completely trumps everything compared to, like, if I'm against a late game player right now, I just can't do it, and that is just DR stuff, right? Like,
Which one? Sorry.
Like the DR stones, like the DR.
Yeah, the DR are the right. Artifacts. Yeah.
Like the DR stone, the DR artifacts. Like the moment someone has access and is able to chip out slightly more money for those artifacts or crystals, I can't do anything to them. I think unless a mid game player is BSR buffed, E buffed, and with full buffs and everything, the end game players, infinite potion is going to regen faster than I deal damage to them.
But that's normal, right? It's an MMO. There has to be a difference.
Okay.
But that's the main point. Otherwise, if someone was running, like, for example, full AP, full like everything, as like my current standing, it's still possible to have a fight with them. But the moment someone uses the fact that they are an endgame player and start using DR stuff, then it's like, okay, it's pointless. You can't do anything.
Yep. Okay. And the other question that I had, this can go for everyone, and we can start the discussion with the distorted stones that drop from the newer spots, all that are flooded on the market, nobody buys them. But how is the experience for newer players with all these catch-up mechanics that have been added into the game? Also, now that the Season V has been released with more free stuff for the newer players, how are we feeling, Quenya? How do you feel like the catch-up mechanics are for the newer players?
Like, I think right now that with Season 5 is probably the best time to start BDO from scratch for newbies, for returnees, for everyone. Like, if you guys know anyone just thinking about sub BDO, it's an amazing time, because with that Season V, they just gave lots of things. 2 more armors, like lots of additional things, the help for guaranteed pen accessories, the Jetina, the other things, like they're like lots of things. I'll also just maybe make a video about that. It's a perfect time for BDO to start, because being newbie in this game is just like, it's just so nice. You're literally graduating from season like 650, 660 or something without any gain. You don't need to gain shit, and you're just 660 gear score. It's good. They should give more. I'm not complaining, by the way. Like newbies, mid-game players, I'm not complaining. PA should give you 1 more black star. It's totally fine for me. They're giving almost free, tri armor, the Ted Karazat thing, and all other things. For example, they're trying to just, as an end game player, we boost or we just, feed early game players with our drops. That Deborka, for example, they're adding Deborka to the average spots. I'm totally fine with that. We're just dropping Deborkas. We're selling in the marketplace. They're just, getting their Tet or Pen Deborkas. They're just changing into Takarazat. It's some kind of making their gear progression way is just more straightforward and kind of clear, I can say. I'm totally fine with that. That season, we think the new especially in Black Desert Online, like early game players and mid game players, they complain nonstop. How are we gonna catch end game players? This game, like the effort that we spend to come here and the effort that you're gonna spend to come nearby me, they're like maybe 10 times easier. I'm not complaining about this again. Of course, early game players, mid game players, you guys should just have, catch mechanics, but they do not know how to just, catch end game players. There are good examples like that. Grimskill, he showed people that how you can graduate from season with almost 800 gear score. He showed it. He just made trillions in season spots. Yes, you heard right. He did it. He was just doing like brain dead 1.5 to 2 billion silver, sometimes more with the events at season spots. He was doing that. And meanwhile, he just did like 6,000k, like 6,000-ish loot scroll while he's grinding in season. You can do lots of things. You have diversity, you have variety, you have, utility in season servers. Even if you graduate from season, I'm trying to, lead people to go in Serendi Elvia. In Serendi Elvia, you do not get directly the money from spot, but if you just, grind there within a plan, for example, 20 hours at Orcs, 15 hours at Fogans, 15 hours at Nagas, at the end of that, 50 hours, you're going to make like 150 bill, maybe even more, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, because at Serendi Elvia, you're grinding there for cups. Cups are just like sit on market, like 6-7 bill each, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah.
People printing money at Serendi Elvia. What do you need for Serendi Elvia to grind there? They're talking about up to 3 billion per hour. Just graduate from season, 660 gear score, everything is enough to grind at that spot. You don't need game literally giving you everything is for free, and you can grind there for like 3 billion per hour. You can do the math. You can ask the people that who are just abusing lots of end game players or casual mid-end game players. They're still abusing Serendi Elvia. They're still abusing Calpheon Elvia at Texas Sanctuary. They're just printing money there. They're doing it. So nobody, like as an early game and as a mid game player, I don't want to see anyone complain about progression. Bro, as an end game player, I'm making 4 billion per hour. As a mid game player, you're making 3 billion per hour. Don't take it as like a toxic, but shut the fuck up and if you just play the game. Game is giving you lots of things. Game is just literally pushing you with like very hard. They're not pushing end game players. They're just like game is pushing you behind and an early and mid game players to just reach the end game players. As an end game player, they're pushing us from forward to backward. They're just limiting nonstop. We have just hitting very big and long walls. You're trying to climb to that wall, like so. What I'm trying to say that is right now is for early and mid game players, game is amazing. From my perspective, it's very easy. What they should do, don't rush, because rush is the worst thing that you can do in Black Desert Online in early game stage. Try to understand how game is working. Try to have fun. Try to discover, complete your adventure journals, do the other things. Get your crystals, search some shits about crystals. Your gear progression is just your physical gear progression is straightforward. Don't worry. You get your Pendebrocas, exchange them to the no Karazats, slowly level up your weapons, slowly level up your armors. There is nothing more than the utility and diversity part is in your crystals, lightstone sets, reforged stones. Your gear builds, your gear difference is or different builds. People also just think that what should I build in early game? DR, go for the straight forward builds. There is nothing you can do more than that. It's just very efficient, very cheap. Until you reach 800 gear score, like 770, 780, everything is just so cheap for you right now in the game. I'm just saying that people graduating from season 750, 760 easily. in few months. If you can do it like in season, imagine what you can do at Serenity Elvia. I'm talking about 3 billion per hour. As an endgame player, I do 3.5 billion at Zephyros. 3.5, 3 billion, 500 million difference. What is my gear is just worth over 10 trillions of silver. Your gear is free.
What
Yeah.
I would say though, Quenya, what you said is like on the newer spots, probably the resources should be upped a bit on the marketplace so that they are more competitive and you could feel like you're making money, but at the same time, it's just a resource that right now, like let's say less than a 5% of the player base is able to get, right? So it's like a limited resource that you as an endgame player can get. The newer players will have to wait for probably 1 year or more to actually be able to achieve that. So it has not like a silver-wise value implemented, but it's like actually you can feel the notice because the upgrades are actually kind of big, right?
Wait,
It's
here
more
is the
AP,
thing.
more HP.
Like lots of people just saying that, hey, how can I enhance my Jin crystals? How can I enhance my lightstones? Here is the thing. Until Edania, you don't need to enhance it. Game is just allowing you to just reach the max potential of any spot without those enhancements. Just your cups, the reforged stones, enough. Like at Orzekia, like what will happen if I just enhance my items at Orzekia, for example? You can grind at Orzekia without any upgrades. You were used to grind there, and you can still grind there without upgrades. You can grind at Hex Sanctuary, you can grind at Troll. You don't need to upgrade your Lightstones. For example, people can say that, hey, Lightstone upgrades can give me like maybe 1% damage. Bro, fuck 1% damage, it will change nothing. Those enhancements only just, adding some value to the Zephyros or Tenebrao. Otherwise, still the other like Orbita, like Nymphomary, Arthurion, you don't need to upgrade anything. You can even go there with if you have, for example, the Pim Black Star, maybe like Sovereign main weapons, Sovereign sub weapon, Awaken. Let's say that you play Succession, you can go there with Pim Black Star. Nobody cares because you don't need them. That's why the shit is part of those spots also. Like imagine I should be able to sell my items to the early game players when I'm done with it, isn't it? But they can say that, why should I buy them? They will provide me nothing. Why should I just buy them myself? What they're gonna do with 1.9k AP if they just enhance it? If they don't
I think what the newer players mean though is they cannot really catch up or do anything to the endgame players, which was the question from Iga, basically the gap between the players. It's like renown score all over again. That's what I keep hearing from people. It's basically renown score 3.0.
Do
or
you
2.0, whatever.
Do you mean this in like a PvP mindset or a PvE mindset?
Kind of both.
I feel like the value for this upgrades is more, you cannot really like count it silver wise because it matters for other end game stuff. For newer players, these upgrades are like, they will come eventually, but are secondary. It's like for us, we're winning 3 AP, and 3 AP for us is worth trillions, but for them on their gear path, it's like not worth at that moment, right? It's like, it's weird to compare. That's what I'm trying to say. Your value for you, Quenya, it's way different that for the newer players, and you cannot really balance it out in silver income. But I do agree that to some extent, you being able to grind there, you should feel a little bit more rewarded silver-wise to be able to sell it to the newer players and actually make comparable or a little bit extra money because of that, right? That's what I'm trying to get in the idea here. I don't know if you guys agree. Maybe Archive, you could give us your opinion on this.
On what specifically?
So we were talking about these sort of upgrades for newer players. It might not be that meaningful, and the amount of silver that they have to spend is like too much for what they could be getting on through other routes, right?
It's not worth it. Like these upgrades for any player that is under, let's say, Zephyros level, or even at Zephyros level, those upgrades are meaningless. You get for what you have access to at that level of gear, those stats that you get from end times, heralds, they are meaningless. They're not going to do anything for you. Like, okay, you can cap out, maybe let's say you're slightly under geared for Ethereum, you're going to cap out. It doesn't matter. You're already capping the respawns. If you are at that level of gear that you really can't even cap Ethereum, you are already going to get completely harvested in uncapped PvP. Those upgrades are going to be way too expensive for the return you get, and you could instead invest that kind of money in actual gear upgrades, in sovereign weapons, in getting tri and tet armors. It's pointless. Like, if you're a lower geared player going for those upgrades, you're just wasting your time, and most importantly, you're putting your attention in the wrong place. I don't think lower level players should feel gate kept from those upgrades because they're not really benefiting from them.
You were gonna say something, computer.
I think there has to be some kind of system in way to prevent, I'd say prevent, but not really, new players from getting it until a certain degree, a certain point, because the thing is with the lower geared players, and AZ can correct me if I'm wrong, because I think is mostly there. The thing they look at the most is their own progression. They don't really care about being the top. They never cared about being the top or getting to the 1% or reaching uncapped PvP. To be sure, some does, but it's a very minimal player base, and they sprint through and they try to sprint through and they usually burn out. But it is what it is. But I'm talking about the casual players, mid-game players right now that are mid-game players. They don't try to push as hard as they can. They don't necessarily try to min-max. They just want the upgrades because it's fun for them to get the upgrades. They just want the fun. They want to enjoy the game, and they cannot progress because they get locked behind a weekly. That also puts them behind because Quinda is probably getting like 5 stones a week, and the Euro player like AZ who just reached Edania gets 1 stone a week. That's 5 weeks.
I don't even have the full cards out yet because I'm saving for Debo, so not even last stone.
No.
I can follow on that tiny bit because what's it called? New players of, I mean, bring back to the point I said before. New players are very impulse-driven players, right? They are very, how do I say this? Oh, I look at this. Oh, that's good.
What is the best class to play, guys? What are my crystal setups? My add-ons?
What are your add-ons?
What are
Add-ons, please.
You know?
Crystals, what is your gear?
Like, oh, let me
mark
make
gear.
nice and dandy. Yep.
Exclamation mark addons.
Succession or Awakening.
It's like,
what class I play if I am Awakening? Sage, I don't know.
It's just like, what's the most currently most available upgrade for them? That is like I completely get it with the time game thing because it's like, even right now I'm here like, oh, maybe I'll quickly give myself some fragments. Maybe I'll do something a bit later. But like a new player is especially like having even reached this stage will probably be like, oh man, I can probably try to go for artifacts before anything else. It's like, oh, let me just get myself a AORUS or like, oh, let me get those very expensive crystals when those are clearly like, oh, maybe don't go for those upgrades because they will compared to other AP like increments, these are like the minimal, right? But they are like, in comparison, the gaps between reaching those are more impulsive, right? Because like compared to like a 80 build compared to like a 20 build upgrade that can get you more AP in the long run, a quick 3 build be like, oh, quick, oh, that's like 3 AP extra on the sheet. Oh, that's nice. I'll take that, and down the line I'll get something else, And then down the line they actually get their sovereign weapon almost as their last priority because of that. And I mean that. I get new players because like AMD game players because I've been through all that mentality before, and that's essentially how they think, right? And in my personal opinion, like the most important thing that they need is guidance first of all, and I feel like this is something that PA need to do in terms of like BDO content. They did it well with the mentor-mentee content, but at the same time, they need more ways to connect the community from endgame to the newer game players, so the transition can be done seamlessly, but also in a very fun way.
I wanna drive the conversation quickly. I know it's like an abrupt or sudden cut,
Yeah.
but since Archive has to leave, I want to introduce this topic that we sort of touched a little bit, which is the group PvE content. And I feel like we all agree here. It's been a very hot topic lately. The lack of content that we can do with friends, because maybe we have dungeons, maybe we have group bosses like the shrine bosses. Maybe we can count as group content, node wars, sieges, whatever. We could talk about the state of those, but I don't even recall the last group spot, how long ago that it dropped.
Olens.
There was a conversation with CMs. I feel like Blue Squadron talked. He had a heated conversation with Endlave, if I'm not mistaken, about this sort of topic. But yeah, Archive, could you let your thoughts go on this topic, and then
So on the last podcast, we kind of I tried to recap the conversation between Andlave and Blue Squadron, and I did misinterpret it a bit because I was lacking a bit of context of what Andlave said, especially since we couldn't hear Andlave's voice on the Blue Squadron stream. But I did misinterpret and say that after people started complaining about Dekia spots, and PA was kind of cut out of the option of releasing Dekia Mirmok and Dekia Gryphons because people didn't want Dekia spots anymore. I did think that they were just shifting their attention away from group spots altogether, and that was their last options. I was wrong. They're just gonna stop doing Dekia spots altogether, but it doesn't mean they're completely gonna stop working on group spots altogether. That window is still open, and the CMs and GMs are still bringing it to the developer's attention that it is a highly requested piece of content that we are missing. So we might get something soon, either in the form of, I don't know, instance content, dungeons, maybe more bosses. But that window is still open for us. It just won't be, most likely won't be in the form of Dekia spots.
I hope so, man. We've talked in the podcast about our good memories in some group spots, or like just simply ending up the node war and jabbing about how the node war go on. I remember in a fantasy going into Castle Ruins with some gillies and jab about what we did on that node war that day. I don't know. I just miss those feelings, and I don't get it from recent spots at all because there's none of the newer ones are group wise, right? So we will see if some of them drop, but I know that you have to leave Archive, so this is your window to, if you want, say some closing thoughts for your part. You can leave.
I don't really have much to say to conclude. I think right now, as PvE feels pretty stale. They are doing a somewhat good job at equalizing. Even the best classes don't pull much far ahead. But I think there's a lot of nuance missing in grind, both in terms of solo grinding and PvE grinding. I think that is being brought to PA's attention, and we might get something soon in return if we are if we are loud enough about it.
Okay. We will keep being loud, and as always, thank you for participating and coming.
No problem,
Archive.
guys.
Always a pleasure, you know this. So yeah, you are free to go if you have to.
thank you for the talk, guys, and enjoy the rest. I will be watching the podcast later.
Sure,
The
man.
rest of it.
Sure. Enjoy the rest of your day.
See you guys. Have a good day.
Bye.
For the rest of the speech, we can keep talking about group PvE. Sorry. We can go to maybe Casey. What
Oh gosh.
do you think
Oh my gosh.
about group PvE? What are you missing? What do you want to
We
see?
are missing. Okay, but now I'm gonna tangent it back because now it links to what I was talking about. I was talking about what's called linking the end game players to newer players, and honestly, group PvE will be like a tremendous
That's right.
W if they can implement a way to somehow make that interaction work, right? For example, well, let's just pick an example, pre-existing example, mirror rack, right? We have mirror rack. That is something that is instant based. What if we have a group PvE spot where the what's it called? For example, there is a lower level, like mirror rack per se instance, and the higher level one, and they essentially they grind together. But however, the lower level one helps the higher level one. The higher level one also helps the lower level one. You know, just something simple like that. Don't even need to have like a boss involved with it at the end. But like something that makes there be any interaction between the PvE of different stages, I think would bring the community together as a whole.
No. Yep. I think that's also a good point that you ended with. There's not like BDO. I love the fact that I met so many people throughout my time playing BDO, and I feel like the game is missing a big aspect of MMORPGs in which people are forced to get into groups to get something valuable, like material-wise or whatever, and that actually makes people to get it not to know each other. That's why I feel like PvP community is so passionate about it, because they love getting to get with guildies, gather hundreds of people to do something in together, and I feel like that's missing on PvE and life skills. There's not much that these communities can do with each other other than jab on what they're doing alone to do it good, right? So that's a very missed opportunity from Black Desert as a game, which I think we can agree to that. But
That definitely add a PvE zone with like that has mechanics for the lower gear score players to help the higher gear score player in the same area as like a party zone.
Yeah.
Like
Like
I feel
boosting,
that that'd be
right?
so easy to be done, implemented as well.
No. I could grab my gearlets from my guild and just, okay, let's go into this spot. I'm gonna boost you a couple of GS while I still can, right?
Yeah.
It could be done. I bet that would be fun.
I feel like that's something they want to avoid, though, because that's why they canceled even sharing loot with a party member.
That's true.
You can try sharing loot. This is why I said instead of like a group grinding spot in terms of like PvE, more of an instance grinding spot between two areas, but their mechanics help each other in some way. You get what I mean?
Yeah, but if PA themselves don't want people to share loot with other players to boost them or to avoid people, probably, I'm guessing it's RMT related.
Yeah.
Because I don't see anything else that could be it.
Okay, computer, I will clarify a tiny bit. When I say instance, that means that they will not see each other. Like their pets will not be able to interact with each other's loot. Right, but how what's it called? How the instance will happen is that something. For example, let's just make a very simple example. The new player will trigger mechanics that it's within the next room. The stronger player will get a buff, right? And stronger player can trigger mechanics that helps the newer player to get a buff, right? And in that sense, it empowers both sides of the party in their instances to grind better.
I see what you mean, but that's require a new grind spot.
Yeah, that requires a new grind spot, but that's something that I believe that would definitely help the community as a whole. Just anything like that. That's just a simple like quick headcanon brainstorm idea, right? But of course, if we refine it even more in certain cases, I believe that something like that can be very easily implemented and be made, if not one of the best spots in the game.
I agree, but considering how spots are going nowadays, I really don't see them doing anything big like that, and I think it's not that easy to implement. Like you say, there's way more simple solutions of turning party to turn grind spot into party spots.
The deck
And I think-
lanterns are a good point on that.
For example, but I don't think there's a single player in the game that is against grinding with a party. And if, like Giga said, they would motivate people to do that by increasing the trash loot by grinding together. For example, like we talked about the Dekia Lantern, right? You pop a Dekia Lantern and the mob's HP instead of 100% HP is gonna be 70% extra HP, right? And that way you make more loot together. People will feel forced, but not really forced, right? Because they can still grind it alone pretty well. They will just do better as a group, and they will want to play with other players to get that extra loot.
I see where you're coming from now. Okay, I mean, for that, similar Gear Score players would very much appreciate this. And in terms of like PvE in similar areas, I completely get it. And
even for newer players, right? Even if you want to help a newer player, you're gonna suffer because you're helping a newer player, but the newer player will gain a bit more, but still.
No, that improves the community. No, you're completely right on that. And I mean, what I was talking about was like, for example, you want a newer player to progress, but don't make the older player to feel like they're getting, you know, the bad end of the stick into the deal. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's something I feel like people like PA need to implement.
Yep, that's for sure. Grania, what are your takes on group PvE content? What would you do? What would you implement? What do you want to see for the game?
I have similar ideas, but before just I share my ideas, this is a little bit shame because the YouTube right now is just like we have good views on YouTube, thanks to just viewers, but you guys just forget about the click that like button. Even if you just watch this, you know, podcast, click that like button. We are live right now. Live streams, just visibility is just very important. The likes increase that visibility. Click that like button. Also, Twitch people, there is a link in chat. I trust you. Just for a second, click that link. Go to YouTube, like that, you know, live stream, so YouTube can recommend this, you know, valuable podcast. These people just here for you. They're here. They're yapping for you. They share what they think. All the veterans. So it's the best way and a free way to support these people. Let's go and talk about the group spots, group things. First things first, I want to just, you know, examine the situation from the roots. What is the natural, the group content in a game? Word bosses. You don't need group, but it's group content. You can do it by your own. The word bosses, they just buffed them. Overall, I can say that it's an option. It's a good, the income, if you go there, and if you can kill the normal bosses like in 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and if you can kill the strong bosses like in 7-8 minutes, yes, the income, the loot, the value, they are overall okay. Especially for newbies. Imagine you're a newbie. In most of the other games, the word boss can be some kind of good option to do money, independent money. You just park people of your characters to some certain word bosses. You can get loot, you can make money from it, but they're not dying in like 3-4 minutes. That's the problem. Why they're not dying in 3-4 minutes? It's because of them. When you just become mid-game player, or when you just become end and like a hard cap player, there is nothing inside of those bosses. And no one is just going there. No one bothered themselves to go there. There is nothing special. There's nothing, I don't know, push me to go there. Force me. Like add something in it so I can go and hit that mob, hit that boss. So early game players can also go there. They can make money from the loot. And also if they get that some special item that I need to get, they can sell it on the marketplace. Then I can buy it and it's also boost the early game player. If they, if they really care about this boost real money trade thing, so for example, I can pay to Higa, hey Higa, this is my new account. Let's just make it, level it up for like 2 months. I'll just park this character here. You and your party will just grind for me and I'll just get the money. if they really care about that thing, that's why they're just not being precautious of bringing party contents. The natural party contents, which are like the world bosses, make them valuable for every stage of the game. So early game players, mid game players, end game players, no matter where or which people are there, they will feel like this is just, they shouldn't feel this. They shouldn't say this to themselves. This is fucking waste of time. Like, if they just push, if they push like mid and end game player to the world bosses will be a good party content or group content. Like, naturally, it's their group. For the other part of the game, in every stage of the game, I believe that we need at least 2 party contents. Like, very early game, mid game, high mid game, and end game, high end game. So like 6 to 8 party spots that we need. They can use the Dekia Lantern 2 that we just talked about, for example. They can, for example, they can make the Zephyros spot, okay? They can add some kind of prerequisite for it. They're using the gear scorting right now, isn't it? If you do not have enough AP and DP, you can see, weekly quests.
Yep.
You can
Good
see
point.
the other things. So if you're in a party, if you want to just activate the Dekia Lantern 2 at the certain spots, for example, Zephyros, party version, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, for example, all of the people needs to get that AP and DP. Otherwise, Dekia 2 Lantern will not activate. It's very simple coding. And Dekia 2 is just create big AoE. In that AoE, you will fight with your party. It is that much simple to fix that group content if they care about, real money trading or it's simple. They just already implemented that. One of my friends told me like a few weeks ago, they just added that APDP requirement for the weekly quests. What if they just add Dekia party and without APDP, like you cannot activate it. So nobody can just, abuse that system. Only capable people can grind there for the party content.
Yep.
That would be nice. I would love to see more party contents, and this system can also bring new taste to the game, so you can grind with your party or can give you slightly more trash loot, slightly more other things. So while you're yapping with your friends, it would be nice, isn't it? That's what I'm thinking.
Yep. It would only be a positive thing. I was gonna mention that for the world bosses that you said, on previous episode, we mentioned that maybe world bosses could give you like nodeware buff for 1 full day. So that way you could go to one of the bosses that spawns throughout the day, you get the buff for 1 day, and the next day you would have to do it. And that way the PvE life skill community wouldn't feel the need to actually do node wars to obtain that buff. I feel like it would be something good that they could add, that it's inherently needed for all the community, and you don't attach it to just PvP, right? I feel like it would be a good thing they could add. But yeah, do you have something else to say about the group PvE? Sorry, Quenya?
Like, that's all I'm saying. I want to see like at least 1 or maybe 2 group contents in the game with the minimum AP DP requirements. Dekia Lantern is an amazing way to do that. They can create early game Dekia Lantern, easy, hard, and high version. Early game players cannot create a Dekia Lantern. Nobody cares about that. Early game players grind an early game without Lantern. But in end game stage, they can just make the Dekia Lantern tree, for example. Dekia Lantern party group content creation, something, anything. And they can just create that thing. Nobody can just, real money trade. Nobody can boost each other. Everybody play for themselves in a party content. The, party bosses, they're good. What was the name? The Black Shrines, all other things. I like them. We do, we do them. Like, they're good. We have.
It did kind of
Atraxion.
take me a tiny bit to understand what Quindaya said, but
Yeah,
now
please.
I understand. This is a very good idea as well. But on the economic side of things, because Dekia Lanterns right now, if you see on the marketplace, oh my gosh, the material for them is right now a min price sitting with like hundreds and thousands of like just there, So this will be a massive boost for Dekia content as a whole as well.
Yeah, like they can use they can lantern is just some kind of this is an item. They can create new item. For example, a party lantern or something. You just regenerate it with different items, not the accessories, for example. Yeah, what was the item? Lantern, fuel, or something? Different
the
thing.
fuel thingy that you would get from enhanced jello grade accessories.
But for example, you can regenerate it with Kafras, maybe. All the side materials that we do not know in the game, that we do not use in the game fully. So the price always up. People whoever just want to grind a partisan, just make partisan, a little bit more income, 10%. Like if you can
10%.
have 4 people at grind at the same time at max efficiency, you make 10% more. But solo group zones, it's okay. The good part of BDO is just like Higa said, in most of the other MMORPGs, party content giving you giga boosts. Yeah, like game is forcing you to become party. Without party, solo grinding, solo other things is just so bad. In this game, solo grinding and everything is sit on solo contents, but party part is very bad. We need, yes, I like this game's solo options. This game should stay around solo options like 70%, 75%, but at least 20-25% of this game, it should offer us, it should recommend us, you can go there, this is your option. That's what I'm expecting.
And it's not only for like being more efficient on getting silver or whatever material you want, but to build more community, right? To get people to know each other. I know people like in Athanasi, for example, I know there were a bunch of people that actually got to meet Iriel because they built that community. They were so close friends that they say, okay, we're heading to Barcelona a full weekend and we're gonna have fun because we met and we just make friends, right? It's just to create this sense of community and getting people to know each other, which I think it could be boosted in this way, which is a beautiful side of the game, right? That we can upgrade in that sense. That's
Definitely,
also a thing
and
that I'm missing.
I would like to add on to Quintana's suggestion, because we talked about world bosses, lightly great upon it in terms of group content. We have something that's actually already in the game that we can actually use, and that's being the field bosses, right? If we can somehow, if they can just somehow add slightly more mechanics to the field bosses, right? Yeah, even like if some of you turned up, it's gonna be like the same thing as like, oh, amazing, a random boss spawn kind of deal, or like, oh, we're gonna make giga money kind of deal, like popped up when you grind. It's like, oh, there's a field boss, and if, for example, you're in Discord call all your buddies, right? It doesn't really, especially considering how field bosses interact with players, it doesn't really matter about their gear all that much. But as a group, right? If you add a bit more mechanics, it requires more than one person, then perfect. That's something that you guys can just do randomly. Be like, oh, perfect. Let's just do this, and it will definitely boost the player interaction way up. Like you can probably like party up with some randoms that just so happen to be like, oh, I'm going to come to this group of us as well, and that can also satisfy the fact that what Quintana is saying about wanting 8 to 10 players contents rather than just a party of 3 to 5.
Yeah. Like even on PvP, the content that I'm enjoying the most is Guild League. Like that 10 type of content, 10 player content is just fantastic. You have great times with buddies. And I don't know, it's just positive overall for the game. But ADEX.
And it just came up.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I was gonna introduce to ADEX. Like, what are your thoughts on group PvE?
Well, I have quite a lot of thoughts about this because I do like the group spots where you grind together, but in the same time, I also believe that if they want to bring group content to the game, it should be a different type of content where it is also grindable and also just as efficient as grinding solo. So it doesn't have to be necessarily more income. It should be something very similar to it as well. So let's say, for example, we had the Altar of Blood. If we would have something like that is grindable with a group where you have to like play together and do mechanics, something that's interactive within the group, because if you're just group grinding, you're just hitting mobs and not doing anything else really. But then if you have group content where there are mechanics where you actually also have to communicate as an option, of course, right? Not as a necessity. That would be really good too.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Okay, I think we've said quite a lot from group PvE. The last thing that I want to talk about a little bit for the podcast would be how has the balancing throughout the classes. We've seen them address some of the most unpopular classes, like your Awakening Dracania has got a lot of buffs since the last podcast that we've talked.
Yeah.
They've given some stuff to other classes that might be a little bit of debate, with Sorg being giga boosted now, or they even touched a little bit on Corsair. How has the balance in these last couple of patches gone? You can talk, Wenja, since Awakening Dracania has been one of the most favored classes on this regard.
Yeah, Drak from B tier to S tier, she just traveled, she just climbed. There are reasons. There are 3 reasons I also explain in depth in one of my videos. As one of them is just directly came from how can I say, the stat changes? No, the combat system changes. The root of the game changed like a few months ago, and that affected the damage formula change. The damage formula change affected the back attack burst damage increased, and the class is naturally is good at the back attack burst damage. And other than that, it's just got some kind of crit damage changes and some other things, a little bit PvE buff, and then a little bit another tiny touches to the class that Dragon Blood form gets speed. And it's not only like 10% PvE buff just make from B to S tier. It's impossible. Some classes also affected that from these changes. For example, Awakening Kunoichi from shit tier directly jumped to the S tier. I believe with after Alchemy Stone changes, Awakened Dosa will jump a little bit more, because Awakened Dosa is the quadruple combo. The quadruple element proc thing is also, is creating good DPS. So independent changes affected, many things in the classes that you didn't expect. Right now in the game, I can say that PV balance is in best state ever, but it doesn't mean that we need more changes. We definitely need more changes, and I want to show them if I can right now. From this thing, I'm just showing it right now. The which classes needs buff and which classes needs a little bit tuned down. Turned down is a little bit, for PV, and then everything will be fine overall. Awakened Warrior needs like damage buff again, like 10% maybe. Sorg is totally fine in both stances. Ranger, like Awakened Ranger, needs buff, but Suck Ranger is completely different thing. Because of her skill kit, she can't be viable like in an average stage. Instead, I'm just expecting from PA to do that. Let's just make Awakening Ranger is just like easier, lower APM, but is just grindable for even Succession players, so they can go for Awakening, grind there, and they come back for Succession for PP purpose. Maybe they can fix the class like that.
Tracy, what do you think on that? Because you're a ranger.
Yeah, it is my class. So the thing is, right now I'm actually grinding for the amount of effort you got to put in as a Suck Ranger to actually grind competitively to other classes right now is ridiculous. Like right now, I'm doing Suck on every single content, and I completely agree with Konda's point of view. That's some classes. If you buff them even remotely in terms of in PvE, their PvP is gonna go completely unbalanced due to the fact that, for example, one of the biggest problem with Suck Rangers kits, and I'm gonna extend that out to maybe perhaps even Tamers, right? Is that AOE is very small, right? But from that small AOE, you have a lot of range. But from that AOE, you got a lot of damage. But the thing is the fact that we as a Suck Ranger player, this is I also completely understand that if there's not a lot of spots per se that can accommodate for that kind of playstyle. Right, even with the tower spots, right? Even with the tower spots, let's just say, let's just put Aetherin as like one of the examples. Even though that it is kind of like a tower spot, you gotta fight around the area, but the AOE where mob spawns are still quite big, right? And in order for the class to have its maximum, what's it called, capabilities, you got to get them gathered up first, right? And that's walking time for the mobs to gather up compared to, for example, a Guardian, which can just hit everything all the time already, right? That time loss is quite substantial. And in terms of that, like it, so if you want to make it any more, what's it called, better in PvE, you gotta extend this AOE, which, well, it will definitely impact into the PvP realm, and I don't think anyone want a bigger AOE Suck Ranger to be on the roofs, you know. So it is. I agree with what Quentin is saying, but at the same time, it is quite sad to admit the truth.
Yeah. So it's about class mechanics. The skill kit is just limiting you, so they can, if they change anything to just boost the PV, it can just destroy PvP, or it can just, I mean, it can destroy your gameplay as a non-ranger player. They can destroy you in PvP, so they can maybe just make Awakening easier to grind, and Sack players can play in an Awakening, because no matter what it's not damage in Succession Ranger problem. It's skill kit.
Yeah.
For Berserker,
it's the skill kit. It's the lack of
Yeah.
AOEs. It's the how the classes interacts as, like, because it is a range thing, right? And people might be like, well, what about Archer? Archer don't have this problem. Archer has a very big AOE, right, in terms of like his grind kit, and it shows it in the nodals as well. The very big AOE, massive carpet pass. But the problem with Archer is that they can't abuse walls, they can't abuse terrain per se, compared to Succession Ranger, and that what makes Succession Ranger having small AOE makes sense, and what puts it in such a peculiar case per se. Once again, I would like to extend that to further to maybe even Tamer, due to the fact that Tamer also have quite a small AOE from what I understand.
So for example, you talked about Archer, like Archer's skill kit is just way bigger than Ranger, because they can utilize it for like AOE skills, lower PvP damage, non-AOE skills, big PvP damage, no need to use them in PvE, something like that. They can do that in Archer because it's Ascension class. You have Awakening kit, you have huge pre-Awakening kit, but in Ranger, you have only like maybe maximum 10 skills to use in Succession form. Because of that, it's so dangerous to touch Ranger to just complete rework for PvE base, can destroy PvP, make the classes unplayable, which is her main stage in PvP is only mod and siege. Nothing more than that.
It's very extremely volatile, right? Especially changing a Succession class. I completely get your point on that one. But do continue, Kontaya, on, for example, other classes.
Yeah. For we got raid. Q Hotbar just raided right now. Just wait a little bit.
W.
Fantastic.
Q Hotbar,
Welcome.
the sexiest, hottest Korean streamer ever. Thank you, guys. It's a podcast. We're talking about the current state of PvE. It's almost done, but we just started to talk about the class by class. I want to talk about Berserker. Succession Berserker right now is in a very good place. A few of my Succession Berserker players who likes to min-max the Succession Berserker in PvE, they really like the changes, the latest changes. And they're saying that it's definitely S- to S tier class. And class, they shouldn't touch class anymore. Class is already broken in PvP. I agree with that. But we're not talking about PvP. The Awakened Berserker, it definitely needs a few things. Maybe damage, maybe some other things. Damage is, of course, but I'm not sure what class actually needs. I don't think if the damage can solve the issue. But Awakened Berserker should be in the priority list. What we talked about right now, Awakened Warrior and Awakened Berserker, we just put two classes in the priority list for PvE thing. Maybe Awakened Ranger. Tamer, there is no Tamer in the game. We just all weirdos just quit game. We don't know. Even if we have Tamers, like they're doing only PvP. They do not do PvE with their classes, so we do not have enough resources to talk about Tamer. So I don't want to mislead, our developers, CM team. Maybe if they just, listen this part of the podcast. Musa Awakening is in solid place. If you need mobility, S++. If you are okay with the other place, is S.
When you're
solid.
not showing the classes, if you want it to show in screen,
Let me just show it.
just so that you can show one by one. so that
Sure.
people can follow it a little bit easier.
Hold. It's okay. Now they see it, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
So
there
isn't
you go.
this stage like the other thing is Musa Succession got pretty nice buff. It's some kind of, if you don't need AoE, class is just in a solid place right now. Mayawa
Mhm.
Mayawa needs more love, I
Needs
can
more.
say. Definitely needs more love. Volpri needs more love in Succession and Awakening. So until this point on what we talked about, Warrior Awakening, Ranger Awakening, Berserker Awakening, Mayawa in both stances, Volpri in both stances. These classes needs touch for PvE. Witch and Wizards in both stances, they are very nice. I mean, SS plus, these classes are just giga broken. Ninja Awakening needs a little bit low in PvE. Succession is just the best class right now in the game if you can handle the class. Kunoichi Awakening is in good state. Succession is in good state. Like if you want to play the class, if you can handle her, she's in good state. No need to touch Kunoichi for PvE. Dark Knight Awakening needs PvE buffs. Succession is just top tier S plus class. We all know that. Succession Striker Awakening, like yes, they can touch that class. Awakening PvE and is definitely needs some low. Succession, no need to touch, classes giga broken. Mystic in both stances, very nice PvE class, very nice. Don't need to touch. Lan Awakening, Lan Succession, both needs PvE touch. Archer needs a little bit love in PvE, just a little bit, not much, because if you want my Archer players, they said like 5 to 10% DPS overall just makes the class good. What they said. Shy is different situation. Like I don't know what to say about Shy. It's in party content. It's some kind of mandatory.
If they give us party PvE, she will be yes.
Yeah.
But since that's non-existent, the class alone is just
I agree.
whatever.
Guardian in both stances, very good. A plus S tier. Maybe they can touch Succession Guardian a little bit more, but the Awakening Guardian is in very good state. Don't touch the class. Hashashin, Awakening. Maybe a little bit push. Just a little bit. Hashashin Succession, just a little bit push for PV. By the way, I'm happy for Hashashin Succession nerfs. Cry, bitches. Hopefully we can see more nerfs in PvP in some classes. Nova Awakening is in very good and solid place for PvE. Nova Succession needs low. Sage in both
But
specs.
here's the thing,
Yeah.
Succession Nova, because it might be a hot take. I don't think there's enough Succession Nova players.
Yeah,
but
Strago.
I had one
It's
friend that tried it the other day, and he told me it's not that awful.
No, just
but we
touch,
need
like
people
10%.
to test it and give them like probably needs more, but people might underestimate. There are some hidden classes that people don't play, but they might actually be decent.
No,
it's just
Nova,
that we
we
lack
have
the
Straga.
information.
Straga is showing us the potential of the class and just needs 10% increase in potential. Can be attack speed,
Like it
can be
definitely
damage.
needs love, but
Yeah.
we need
But
information.
definitely,
guys.
when I say low, I'm not saying it's dead class. Okay, there was only one dead class. It was Succession Ranger because of her kit for PvE.
No, crazy, no.
Yeah, but
I mean, I'm
what
not gonna lie to you. I'm getting like 32k aggros in Doviki right now. It's with Suck Ranger. I'm doing fine. But like later down the line, yeah, that's gonna be a problem.
Oh, no.
So it's like it doesn't mean that class is unplayable. What I'm saying is just need touch and low. You can definitely play Saknova and you get above average results. Sage, I mean both specs definitely good. Like if you can't give more
Succession
DPS to
would
the
need love.
Succession. If you give more
Succession would
DPS,
need a
this
little
will
bit
be
more.
meta class. That's the problem. Because of AoE, that this class might be the biggest AoE in the game right now.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they're being precautious
Completely
about
agree.
giving more DPS. If they increase a single target DPS on Succession Sage, that can be a big problem. So they're being precautious. That's what I'm seeing from PA. It's totally fine. Awaken Sage is in good state. No need to talk about the class.
It's
PvP,
good.
PvE.
Just one skill that it's useless, which is Riftstorm Shift LMB. That skill is it would definitely need a little bit boost DPS wise. Nothing else. Awakening
Okay.
Sage is perfect for PvE right now.
Okay. Just first PvP nerfs, maybe later.
No. Don't touch my class. My class is perfectly fine. Don't dare. Don't you
fine.
do this to me. No.
Corsair, like the approach of PAs to Corsair was a little bit interesting because they buffed Corsair and they nerfed Corsair. it was a little bit weird. Corsair in both specs needs low, Awakening a little bit low, and Suck needs big low. Again, we're just encountering with the skill kit limitations on this class too. If they just decrease the cooldown of the Veil skills, which are the main skills of the class, the signature skills, it will directly affect PvP. And they don't want to do that. So how they can fix it? They can maybe increase the AoE of the filler skills and give giga damage to them, so people can just rely on them. Just use the other signature skills. Depends the situation. Maybe they can fix it. Drug, Awakened Drug is in a very solid place. No need to touch the class. Just solid as 9 out of 10 class. Like if they just buff the class more, it's just be equal to Sack Ninja. No need that. Sack Dracania, maybe 5% damage increase, but no need. It's not that much mandatory because AoE is good in the class. Sack Vusa definitely needs 20% DPS buff. Skill kit is good, just the DPS. Awakened Vusa in a very good place right now in the PvE. Awakened Vusa is also people sleeping on that class. That class is very good in PvE.
Go watch J-Kun, guys. Go watch.
Go watch J-Kun, Game Brew. Go watch these people. You're gonna understand what I'm saying. Mago Awakening is in very solid place. Single target DPS. Again, the skill kit. If you need big AoE, you're not capable to grind with a Mago Awakening properly because of class difference. So at that point, there is nothing we can do. But Succession, Mago's DPS is in good state. Same situation like Sack Sage. Those classes with very big AoE, sometimes range capability, especially the Mayagu, they cannot give more DPS. If they do that, it will be same like the release of the Succession Mayagu. It will be like good and everywhere, no matter where you grind, early, mid, and end game. So Succession Mayagu will be like only meta. PA doesn't want to do that, and I totally understand. They're in a kind of okay stage right now. Scholar is in good state right now in PvE. Definitely, like I'm watching the other people. That tankiness, that good sustain, that good protection, it's totally they shouldn't give more DPS to that class. Can be directly meta with the tankiness, protection, and all other things. Dosa.
They just gave her 10 attack speed, right? On
No. It already like on the class. That if I'm not wrong, W or E skill already has that thing, but they just added that attack speed on one of the QQ mobility skill. You just Q and show the some kind of ball, and you just teleport into that.
Okay.
That also got that. It's just it's not overriding.
It's a PvP buff. It's not a PvE buff.
Yeah, it's PvP related
because
because you can't use that attack speed buff while you just fight with people. It's unprotected or it's a very tiny front card, if I'm not wrong. Short period of front card. That's why they gave it. It's totally fine. PvP related buff. Dosa, I'll just pass it to the IDEX because he is the lord of Dosa. The Deadeye needs PV buff. That class needs PV buff. Her signature skill Shift E got 60% PV nerf. After that, the class just felt very bad. The class just in max potential, barely maybe average at max potential. Definitely needs PV damage buff.
I feel like Deadeye's PvE state might not be that bad in current days. I feel like.
Yeah.
The thing is, Deadeye is one of those classes. Is similar to, as we talked about, Succession Sage or Succession Wegu. Is like, can't have too much damage on some of the big AoE abilities.
Wukong
Otherwise,
maybe I could
Wukong
say
is
that,
S+,
but she could
guys.
use some love.
Yeah, but she can use some love. I get what you mean with PvE.
Yeah.
PvE, don't touch her PvP, please. I hate the class. Please kill her.
Dosa. I mean, IDEX can just summarize the Dosa. IDEX, what you say?
So from what I've seen so far in the Dosa Discord is that Succession still needs a small buff. It's not good enough. Awakening is still better. And for Awakening, I'm just gonna say this straight up, like the Quadra proc is a bug. It's not intended.
Oh no.
It is a bug. Yeah, I sent a bug report 3 months ago, and they still didn't react to it. They didn't see the video. They didn't do anything with it. The class itself needs a review on the workings of the elemental circles, and they just keep nerfing it, mostly PvP wise. But it's a bit sad, right? It's also the only class in the game that even if you have a MP potion, you still run out of mana if you continuously use your skills.
Same like Electro.
But yeah,
that
the
shouldn't be a thing
elemental,
with any class.
yeah,
Shouldn't with
the
any class.
AoEs are, it is a bug, and I started noticing it more and more because what the tooltip says, it says you can form up to 2 elemental circles at once, right? But that means the marker you see on the ground, that is your elemental circle. And it also says if the circles are formed too close to each other, only the newest one will remain. So it should be so that you can place one, but if you place one, you place the second one. The first one you placed, if it's too close, it will disappear. And what you're doing is you're placing this when you're doing the skills, you're placing the element, and you're activating it. And the element pulses 3 times, then it stops. But if you use a different skill of the same element, you will reactivate that same AoE that you activated before. So you're going to end up with 2 circles, and that's where the bug lies.
I see.
So
Okay.
if PA fix that, indirectly they will just nerf the class.
The Giga nerf, it's C tier. It's so bad. It's gonna be
Yeah.
horrible.
So like
So
they
they
should
have to
just
like
at
redo
least,
the whole thing.
they should maybe give like 10-15% DPS to the skills before they fix it.
Oh yeah, that works too. Yeah, but then they also have to buff the AoEs again. Then really,
Yeah.
and it's
Succession.
not even 10%. It's even more like 25% even. It's gonna be really bad.
Okay. And we've talked pretty much about all the classes PvE wise. The last thing that I wanted to touch before finishing the podcast episode was their decision on delaying the Alchemy Stone and the main maid, but who cares
No.
about maids? I don't like boobas, so I don't give 2 shits about maids. Yeah. How are we feeling about them postponing the Alchemy Stone? Do you guys think it's good? Is it like they promised that they should deliver when they said it this September? What do we think? Adex, you can go.
I think I understand why, because I have a feeling this is going to affect what is going to come in Edania Part 2. I really believe they're going to release another Alchemy Stone. And I think they want us to do all the stuff we have now so we can properly have like resources and time to do what is coming next.
Okay.
However, I do think it's really sad because I was really looking
We were
forward
very
to it.
hyped, I think.
Yes,
all
I
the
really
community
want
was
this
very hyped.
upgrade. But I think also if they introduce this now, this is going to cause them to do more balance patches because everyone will be faster. Or most people will be faster. So they will have to redo balancing again.
True. Although we could say that maybe the part of attack speed of all the alchemy stones are just brought back to Bellheart level. And it's just a matter that the newer alchemy stones are gonna give a little bit more AP so that maybe we can hit the 400
That'd be
AP
great.
mark, something like that,
Yeah,
rather
that'd be nice.
than like just removing that extra attack speed. I think that could be a way they could address it. Although people like to play with more attack speed, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what
Feels
they
really
can
good
do.
in this game.
There's a problem
very
with attack
powerful.
speed though. There's some classes that benefits extremely well with attack speed and some classes that doesn't.
Imagine Awakening Sage with the Shining Stone.
Oof,
Oh,
no. I mean, I go bananas. Like my fingers start doing crazy piano, playing music in my ears. Everything just flows smoothly. I just do damage. People die. Yeah.
I mean, I can pick a really easy example. For example, my class, the Awakening and Succession Respect, in comparison. Awakening, if you have too fast of attack speed, you just burn through stamina. There's no such thing as there's no such thing as stamina management if you have a too fast of attack speed on the Awakening Ranger. But on Succession, on the other hand, you just spam abilities. Your damage output directly correlates to how much attack speed you have.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a completely opposite side of the coin, and it really shows like the pros and cons of having more attack speed. So yeah, definitely like they need to have more balance. They're gonna introduce more attack speed, and I agree with that. The simpler version would just be adding more AP.
Like reducing consolidating the 5% attack speed for the alchemy stone and make it throughout all, and they just give more AP. I think it might be a wiser thing to do. What do you think, Wendy, about the alchemy stone?
Now the main thing is just like ignore that thing. I didn't even remember that they just mentioned that until I see the global lab patch. Nobody cares that, thing. But the alchemy stone system, there are like two things that in my mind. One is they were just like lazy. They couldn't just, manage it, and they just postponed it. The other thing that they mentioned that it will maybe actually related with something in the future, and it will create load on people, actual like burden on people. We do not know the new system. If they just, adjust the old system in a simple way, it will create nothing. But maybe they will add something with that patch. It will actually create burdens to people. So they decided to actually wait. And the reason or the excuse that they just, gave us, it was true. So I want to believe the second one. Hopefully they just not add the simple version. They just not adjust the simple version, add one cronestone in there, and just like we click that, we just try, we get it in one day. Hopefully they don't do that. What I'm expecting from them is let us, combine well and the shining stone into one new new type of, item. Shining exalted well stone, for example. And it will be purple, and I will be able to enhance it like a normal item to deck. Okay? But to do that, to get that level, you should first get shining, Wellsat. Both needs to be exalted, and you can combine it with a new item that you can gain from the end game spots. For example, from Zephyros, it can be a good way to just make it a rare item, as some kind of treasure item, and then I can just enhance it for myself a little bit more. Other things, buffs, some other things, maybe defensive stats. I don't know, something like that.
So you prefer actually the enhancing route rather than the old alchemy type of UI kind of
I
thing?
prefer that as well. Personally,
You
you-
guys
I would
prefer
like that.
enhancing? Like the old and alchemy UI is just a nightmare for me.
You
They
use old
did
system?
some changes for it, but
You use old system, you will get shining first, you will have Wellsat,
okay.
you will combine them, you will get the new purple grade item, and then you will enhance it to deck. And they will make
Okay.
the reaching to shining is not that much hard. They will make it like
Could be.
average, not that much chronostones it will require. They can do that. So they can give the 10% attack speed to the every people that's 750 gear score. They can do something like that. At least that will be nice. And because in the end game stage is everything is time gated right now. I'm full deck. My weapons full deck. Okay. What am I gonna do? I'm just waiting for the next week. I just get something 5 attempts from Zephyros Castle. Okay, and then nothing. Complete nada. I should find somewhere to use my silver. There is nothing. And that alchemy stone system can give some kind of goal to us.
Okay. Computer, what are your thoughts on alchemy stones? Have you been a pursuer for the higher grade versions of the alchemy stones?
I think what they said is full of shit. I'll be honest.
Oh,
Like
okay.
they said they don't want to release it because the system is too complicated. That makes no sense at all. And honestly, I think it's like just full of shit. They were just lazy and they didn't finish it in time and just delayed it like everything else for the past year or so.
Maybe the system is complicated that we do not know. Maybe they'll just give new system, complete new system. We don't know.
They said the same thing over the what was it? The fuck, I forgot the name.
No,
a
it's
full
okay. It's
change
PA
for the
at all.
artifacts, crystals, you know, the preset change. They said the
Oh.
same thing, that it's complicated, and that's why they delay it to not release it with a Dana.
The
Blah, blah,
all-in
blah.
one? The all-in one
Yes.
preset? Okay.
Yes, and it's not even complicated, and they didn't even do it properly. And I'm worried it will be the same thing with the Alchemy Stone. So for me, I'm very negative about that. Personally, I see it as a very negative thing they delay it, because to me, I think they just haven't finished it. They don't even know what they want to do properly. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
okay.
PA at all, and you highly right. You have very high chance to be, right. PA.
Hmm. Oh, well. So I think that for today's episode, we've talked through a lot of interesting stuff. I think this podcast was pretty loaded, let's just say it this way. But yeah, if you guys want and if you allow me, Quenya, we can do the last final round
Yeah,
of
please.
closing thoughts for everyone. So yeah, special thanks for today's new addition, which is Hazy. It was fantastic having you here. We usually
Oh.
do a final round of closing thoughts, so you're gonna be the first one. Yapping for the last time this episode. So yeah, take it away.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, gosh. Well, I didn't know this was happening. But closing thoughts in terms of PvE. I wish they can, discuss, improve on group PvP content as well as making the connection between the new and the older player. And hopefully things will be better from, I think we're better from after Crimson Dead release when there's more devs teams on.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, right? But and hopefully we can see a way better, way fleshed out Idania Part 2, and as well the current Idania as well.
Yeah. It was a pleasure to have you on the podcast this time around. Feel free to come whenever you want, man.
Oh yes, thank you.
Computer, your time to do your final thoughts, closing thoughts for today.
I think in general, basically what Tezzy said, it's kind of the same for me. Like the PvE wise, they just have to fix group grind spots, and honestly, I'm quite happy with that. If they do that, like I'll be happy for the next who knows how long. Yeah. Other than that, thank you for the podcast. That's it.
I'll make sure that if they released good PvE content, I will get you and Rita on my party and we will perma-grind. I make that a promise.
We need some grinding parties. They really have to fix group spots.
I miss you guys. Adex, your time to final Japerinos for this episode.
They need to look at my class. They need to look at Awakening Dosa and the element thing. It's getting, I like it, right? I don't mind the playstyle of it, but it being a bug doesn't feel right to me. It shouldn't be like that. And they just keep nerfing the class, right? And it's just at this point, I'm just starting to feel like they don't know what they're doing.
Whenever I think of Awakening Dosa, I just remember this kind of meme of The Simpsons saying, stop, it's already dead. That's what I'm getting from Awakening Dosa.
I mean, it's still good in PvP. And I understand their philosophy that they want the class to be a support class. That's all good and fine. But the way the class works with its passive is bugged, and they need to fix it. They need to look at it. And honest to God, I would pay for a translator to just talk with them and tell them what is wrong with it. It's actually getting that bad. Other than that, group content is a necessity in MMOs. You cannot have an MMO without group content.
I think everyone is claiming for it. You're right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep. Just do it. Why don't? It's just beneficial for the game, for your community. Everyone would enjoy it.
I would even like it if they would say, hey, we're going to create group content, but we're going to experiment with something new. Tell us what you think about it. And then we're going to see things like Savage Rift again, for example, right? Where they release some content, and it's gonna be shit, and then they remove it. But I think that's one of the strong points of PA in a way, if we can be like positive in a way, is that they try to do new things, but it just doesn't work out.
I mean, it's better to try to than standing and doing nothing. That's always been my philosophy, right?
Yes,
Wow.
never stagnant. That's a good way to think about it.
Gwendia, you take it from here. We've done our part. You can close the things.
Okay. So I will just do that announcement again. Please, YouTube people, click that like button if you just watch this podcast until this point on. It's the best way to support the YouTube contents. Also, you can just leave your comments under the this live streams. What when we're done. Twitch people also. Let me just copy paste this one for you. Before we leave, click that link, go there and like the YouTube live stream. It's big W for to support these podcasts. And on the other hand, thank you guys for being here. I'm appreciated. For the Twitch people, I'm sending you guys to IDEX. We will go and IDEX probably will just say hi to you. And also you guys can see IDEX link in the YouTube chat. Thank you so much for the old people, Higa and everyone. If you guys have anything to say, probably you just said. It's time to go. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you again. Have a good day. Bye.